recap. So, after our merry band of misfits made their way into the city with the College of the Zulu Mkir, again, we're trying to find some place where we could be able to take jobs on a non-disclosure contract, since Kalim Al-Jazir and his Near-Misers are still pissed off and wanting to hunt us down. While in the town, we found a non-guild related advertisement for a job that was from Shalkor Kyrell, the professor of the anthropology and history department at the college. Made our way to the school, got some books, talked to this gentleman. Not 100% sure if we trust him or not, but at the very end of it all, money's money. So we took the job, which was to go clear out a place of elven ruins that was supposed to be guarded by an onyx dragon. Made our way out there, found the dragon, turned out to actually be a fang dragon, and took it down pretty easily. Our agreement with Shalkor Kyrell was that we would just take what was in the dragon's hoard and we come back and get 1,000 gold each, but we weren't supposed to venture further into the ruins. So then we ventured further into the ruins. We ended up finding a giant iron door with some depictions of ancient elves on it, and thanks to Molly's brutalness, was able to get the door open enough for us to be able to get in. We found basically an entire subterranean city with a bunch of remnants of these ancient elves. The biggest thing that we could tell from was that they all had antlers on them, which was what the ancient elves looked like back before the gene pool kind of got diluted down through generations. We made our way through, we found a couple things here and there throughout the town, but the biggest thing that we kept seeing was that there was ley lines of different colors and energies that were going through this town, following those to wherever they came to a center mass, where they all seemed to collect was in one building that only had one sign that gave us any hint on what it was, and it was called the Well of Worlds. We made our way inside, we found some more baby fang dragons, killed them, which gives us an excuse for why we were there in the first place. But while we were in there, we saw 4 giant sentinels that seemed to just remain inert and didn't bother us until our rogue tried to pry a piece off of one. Gave him a little run for its money, but nothing too bad. And then we made our way into the next chamber, and we found where exactly these ley lines were all coming together into some type of enigma that we really don't know what it was. Not without trying to get closer to take another look at it. Except when we did try to get closer, the 8 other sentinels, smaller but still just as dangerous, became active and gave us a run for our money. We managed to kill one of them, but we basically had to flee just to get out. Still never got to see anything further what that enigma was, but at least once we got out of the room, they seemed to not think that we were a threat anymore and went back into a docile state, just going back to stand post. And as it stands now, we're now in that previous chamber again with the 4 large sentinels while we lick our wounds and figure out what the game plan is going forward. And that's where we're at. And Gavin's on the phone.
Yeah.
Also, so that nobody forgets, as we were running out of there, Molly actually did take a piece of one of those sentinels out. Like, when we decapitated it, there was a big blue spike, like, down in its neck hole that she just basically yanked out and took with us. So, we did get that.
Seems like y'all have had a lot of fun without me.
I haven't. They have.
Nond is broke.
Because the one session I was able to join after like a whole month, Gavin took me down in the first round of combat.
It was worth it. Anand is fiending for cash because he would like to add items to his spellbook. And he desperately looks upon the rest of the team like, help.
I think I have literally $0 right now. But we got all these gems, and we're supposed to get 1,000 gold each whenever we go back to, oh boy, back at the college.
Isn't it like 500 to put a spell in the book?
It depends on the level. I don't remember. I should do these things since I am...
It's 50 gold per spell level, but if it's one of the spells for your classes, it's half the cost.
I have... Like, I need to put Dimension Door in my spellbook.
That's
I mean, I
Dimension
have 20...
Door is. I think Dimension Door is. It's not divination. I think it's enchantment, right?
Yeah, how many?
Jess has it.
How many scrolls do you have? Because you haven't put any of your scrolls in your spellbook yet, have you?
I have Dimension Door, Haste, Lightning Bolt, Phantom
Conjuration.
Steed.
Yeah, it's Conjuration. I think you're one of those gravity.
Graviturgy.
Wizards, right?
Yeah.
Graviturgy.
I use time magic. Well, haste, which means haste would be half, because haste is time magic.
I am Kronos, the father of time.
I'll tell you what, while he's on the phone, y'all, what's the game plan? What do y'all want to do? Are we venturing
That
out of
money.
here to go get the monies?
Oh yeah, I want to roll out of here and go get that money.
All right.
It was
Yeah.
1,000. You
I agree.
bartered for 1,000 gold apiece, right? So that's 6,000 gold, right?
Sounds accurate, not including the gems. Yes.
Yeah, it was, he pays us 1,000 out of his pocket, and we get to keep whatever was in the dragon hoard. So all the stuff that we looted off the dragons, including their baby scales and whatnot.
Harvesting the corpses of the young ones.
Yes.
Are you a Chrono or Gravity Wizard?
I'm Chrono.
Chrono?
Yeah.
It doesn't look like they get anything there where they can add spells to their spellbook for cheaper cost.
Horrible. Who invented that crap?
Yeah, because like Abjuration has Abjuration Servant. Conjuration has Conjuration Servant. I don't think Chrono or Gravity has it. Matt Mercer invented it. You can send him a mean tweet later.
I probably would like to. I am a marginalized person. I deserve.
Just remember, he's a very sensitive person. Okay, he'll probably take it like super serious and to heart. He takes everything to heart.
I need to be watching the new campaign.
That's pretty good.
I haven't watched it.
I never even watched Alexandria. But anyways, we're getting off topic.
You're not missing
So-
anything.
Sean, I actually have a question. In my inventory, I have no gold, no platinum, and there's a note that says here, I owe you from Lucas 3,000 gold pieces.
Oh, is that what that is?
Ooh,
Yeah, it's right there.
that's awesome.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's right at the bottom of the list. It says one IOU note.
So speaking of inventory, that's not bullshit. Did you? I got it in my notes because I don't think we actually delved any of this stuff out. But did Anad get the mana crystals? Because apparently in the fight against with the dragons, we got 7 mana crystals.
Sorry,
got
that
him,
was
but I
Henry
didn't add him
County
to me.
Police Sheriff that just called me. He literally was like grasping for straws. Like, is it parked the wrong way on the road? Yes. Okay, well, they're not supposed to be parked the wrong way on the road. Let's see. Literally going through all these codes where he might be able to pull some strings to get it removed.
Nice.
So, alright,
Nice.
so Sean.
So sorry, guys.
I have-
I'm really sorry. We can get to the game.
We're doing inventory stuff. Calm down over there, DM.
Okay.
So, I think we put all the gems into Neston's bag. Because I have.
You did. You dragged the whole horde to it.
Topaz, Turquoise, Zircon. I mean,
And I've
Not
already
just
done
tweaking, so
an
load 'em up.
entire inventory. Well, gems aren't inherently magical. You need a specific kind to help you with that.
hey,
No,
Kevin.
we have mana crystals.
Oh, and something that I apologize, something I failed to do. There's mana crystals all over the place in here. Literally, anytime a ley line is close to the surface, mana crystals naturally grow on top of ley lines.
So the 7 that we found was like, hey, I found 7, and they're like riddled all through the room. Like, good. I found dirt. It's super rare, isn't it? No, it's
Yes.
literally everywhere.
I have a gun. I have a jar of dirt.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, that's literally the conditions for ley lines forming, which is why the Vold of Kalimlux are so dependent on the Pallet Elves, because there's only one ley line left in all of Wel'Kalas, and it just so happens to crest the surface through where the Pallet Elves live.
Cool. Jams. We need jams there, Gavin.
Oh, why did the jams stop? Let me get that.
Does anyone have any spell materials or whatever where they need a gemstone? I know I need diamonds, and I can always turn diamond into diamond dust because I need diamond dust too.
I have.
How dare you waste our diamonds on your spell components?
Well, do you like to be petrified?
No.
Okay.
I
Well,
mean,
don't get
everybody
hit.
has their kinks.
Are you threatening to make me rock solid?
I have a flawed diamond that's worth 100 gold pieces, and if I turn that into dust, that I can use that as spell components for greater restoration. So just in case somebody gets petrified or something, I can bring them back. If I decide to prepare that spell that day. So I noticed I only have 2 spells prepared, or 3 spells prepared out of 18. Out of 13.
Right.
Sorry about that, Sean.
All good, man. However you want to play your character.
I just confucked it, and I apologize.
You can.
Yep.
That's a good description.
All right. So, painting the scene. I am extremely sorry, guys.
Okay.
I apologize.
Cool. Let's just. You're
Yeah,
so
let's
focused
get-
on this thing. Let's just get into the
Let's
game.
get to the game. Get to the game. So, you guys have just narrowly escaped death as you stand outside of the room that held what you would imagine would be the Well of Worlds, as you are surrounded by this glowing blue stone, and you hear the eerie sound through the doorway of these things just
Yes.
moving back to their original positions. That is where you find yourself, as you are nursing your wounds from almost dying. Oh, and Anand, by the way, right before you got teleported out of there, one of these things fired a beam that would have hit you, just for extra emphasis.
Right as the beam is about
That
to
passed
hit, I'm
through
like,
the exact spot of from where you disappeared. You feel a slight singe on your robe from the beam that almost hit you.
it's okay. It wouldn't have passed through my godly AC anyway.
So yeah, I think we are agreeing to go back to the place and
Do the thing.
Yeah, do the things, get our money, sell some gems. You know.
You guys don't want to fight them again?
No.
You got an extra person this time. It might make the difference.
I want to fight him, but not right now.
Yeah.
We're gonna put a pin in that.
You know, I don't think. Okay, so another decision we got to make is: are we gonna tell the are we gonna tell the professor about this?
Probably,
How
yeah.
about no?
Well,
We can inquire about it.
sure. Look, there was the baby dragons in the previous room, so even if somehow he came out here, he'd see that we were telling the truth because we were still cleaning out the dragons, right?
Mhm.
And the main thing I really don't want this guy to do is go into that room we just came from, because I don't know what that thing was about, and I don't want anybody else getting on there, but
Trust him.
it's well guarded, and the only people that he has to be able to like push through and make their way through there was us. So without us, it's not like he can go through any further on his own anyway.
That's true.
And
So what do we tell him to that we can't fight him right now? That we got to come back at a later date?
he's got the entire city that was outside to go explore. If he's a real
Okay.
historian, he's got that whole town to be able to go through and entertain himself with that. We've done the job.
Okay.
And I'm sure he'll be more than pleased with that. But if we tell him, hey, if you don't want to die, don't go into this building where there's more dragons and automatons, I don't imagine he will.
True.
And we'll tell him
Yeah,
where you
cool.
just got to make more preparations, and when we're ready, we can come back and do it again.
And tell him not to destroy the teleportation circle that we have there.
Yeah. Let's be honest. I got a feeling if this guy has found such a big discovery, he's not going to want to tell everybody about it until he's gone through everything himself. And he
So what exactly are we going to tell him?
just tell him what we found, tell him what we saw, because he's going to come through here. He's going to see it. That was the whole point of us clearing it out.
But what if we didn't? And we couldn't beat the dragon at the entrance?
Then he'll find another group that'll go in there and try and do it, and then
Yeah, I
they'll get to
suppose
go
that's
through.
true.
I'm all for it if we could, capitalize on this the best way possible. But I think, honestly, just being honest with this guy is going to still be the biggest payoff for us.
All right.
Fine.
Honesty is going to be the best policy on this one.
I know, it sounds a little weird saying that, but yeah.
I don't like the
Let's
way
get
that
it.
feels. It's
Let's go.
too straightforward.
I've never really had it before where I do just what's the best thing for me, and it's being honest. That just doesn't really sound to jive right.
I have a bad taste in my mouth just thinking about this.
Well, I say, yeah, we go back to the city.
Yeah, as we
Gavin?
walk through the city there, DM, I do want to just... Is there any remnants of the ancient elves? Like, any, bodies? Any graveyards? Anything that, I mean, it looks like
No.
this thing was just cleared out, but there's no
That's
people.
the mystery. There's no bodies. I mean, there's graves, sure, but I mean, you don't know how old they are. There are graves, but as far as bodies just laying about, no. As far as the ancient lore goes, as far as history tells, it's very much like I forget what the name of the legend is, but the town in New England where everybody just disappeared. Nobody knows what happened to the
Krakatoa.
ancient elves. No, what's that?
Krakatoa. I wanna say
Yes,
Krakatoa.
that one. It's very much like that, where just
Or you mean
every-
like Roanoke?
Or that one.
or
yeah.
Croatoan.
Cro-
That's exactly the word I
There
was
we go.
grasping for.
That was close.
Where they just disappeared, and nobody knows why. All we have left is their descendants, who no longer hold a lot of the physical characteristics that they had.
Yeah. Well, is there other things? Does it look like there's animals that have taken up residence in this town, or is it just nothing lives here?
Nothing lives here. Not even bugs live
So
here.
there's not
You
even
haven't-
cobwebs anywhere?
You haven't seen a cobweb, you haven't seen a bat. It's likely that you're the first living things to walk these halls in thousands of years. I'm sorry, guys.
Go, go.
Hello?
So, Nick, I'm gonna give
Yep.
you the blessing, the Twilight blessing, so you have advantage on your next initiative roll, since Molly doesn't need it anymore.
Okay, cool.
Did we make a note that we found the sigil sequence for a teleportation circle in here?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've got it written down in my inventory.
Good, because I want to come back the easy way next time.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean like ritual cast? Come back with all your spell slots tomorrow?
Sure.
Have y'all seen all the feats?
It's being
that
towed
Gavin
as we
has?
speak. Problem resolved. Let's get back to the game.
Have y'all
Let's
seen all the
go.
feats that Gavin? Are we able to pull from feats that you have in Fantasy Grounds? Because there is a shite ton more feats.
You mean from feats that I don't have in Fantasy Grounds?
No, that are in Fantasy Grounds, because you have like the
Ye-
Book of Dragons, volumes 1 through 17,000.
So many of those Book of Dragons feats are for people that are playing a Draconic race, and you have to be playing a Draconic race to get those feats.
Yes. Okay.
But as Brandon points out, many of those he'd be able to pick up because he is playing a Draconic race.
Okay.
So I forget. I keep thinking of you as just
I
an
can't
elf,
pick up.
man.
I
But
can't pick up sharp scales. That's
uh,
I should have sharp obsidian scales for an obsidian dragon.
no. I'm sorry.
All right. Okay, fine. You're not-
All right. So, are we saying we make it to the city, or are we still?
I would say that. I mean, you tell me. Is that where you guys are headed now, actively?
Yeah, we are actively heading towards the city.
I want to just keep an eye out for an alchemy shop, something like an apothecary on the way back.
Well, on the way back, it's wilderness.
No, well, we still had to go back through the town itself, like the subterranean town.
Oh, you're talking about in the city.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Give me a investigation check.
Well, we already went to one right before we came out here.
That
shop
was
is-
more of an enchanting place, more of a magical goods. So, You don't find an apothecary. What you do find is sort of a general storage. You know, a lot of these ancient civilizations, they would stash goods. It sort of have a building that was for that sole purpose of storing food, weapons, armor, you know, like the ancient Egyptians used to do, where anytime that they knew a drought was coming, they would prepare and stash goods to the side. You find something like that. And while you don't find anything inherently magical, what you do find is things that could possibly be used as basically filler ingredients for enchanting. You find some columbine. You find a lot of aloe vera, which is a common sort of filler that you would use. And
Rice.
the strange thing is that they are all preserved. You imagine these things would have gone bad over thousands of years, but they simply haven't. If you will roll me an Arcana check, please.
Well, I was also really looking for if it's an apothecary or something like potion regions, but sure. Arcana.
Are there any holes in the Columbine?
Really?
Darn.
That was a joke.
Ba-da-bum, ba-da-bum.
But people don't know that columbine is actually the name of an herb. That's what the school was named after.
The joke was
so-
funny.
It was. So that that Arcana check, what you find is basically, you notice there's several sigils and runes that appear to be carved and inscribed upon this building, and you recognize these to be consistent with what one would come to expect. Yeah, it's being towed. With what one would come to expect of, like, a chest of preservation or a bag of colding, basically something that is meant to magically preserve goods. And that's over this entire building. It's totally likely, in fact, you imagine it would almost be certain, that this sort of enchantment originated with this society, as many spells and enchantments did, were invented by these ancient elves. That's sort of the biggest legacy that they left. So you would take that to be the reason why these goods have not expired over thousands of years. But you don't find anything too great, but you find some things that can definitely be used as good fillers. Like, you know that aloe vera is a common filler for healing potions and different things meant to restore the body. So you do find that. If you're interested in collecting these, I'll tell you what you get. Are you collecting any of these sort of filler reagents?
Why would I just leave them there?
Valid question. So, from this place, you get... Let's roll a D100 for this.
Ooh.
You get 29 sprigs of aloe vera.
You said frigs?
Sprigs.
Sprigs. In addition to that,
How
you
is
get...
aloe vera? I'm sorry.
Aloe vera comes in leaves, not sprigs.
You
The
get
leaves could be
80 different... You get 80 columbine flowers. And you would imagine the total between these two would be, depending on your efficiency and how good you are at alchemy, to make these ingredients not go to waste.
Any
be...
chamomile or ruby chamomile?
Sure, I'm not going to roll a D100 for that one, but I'll roll a D20. You get
Are these
20
like-
chamomile.
Well, is it... So, I'm not going to just try and throw this at you. One is common and one is rare. So
Which one's rare?
The ruby is like a chamomile it's a mutant version of the red chamomile. It's used to make like greater healing potions.
You read the book.
I have it up on one of my screens right now.
Oh, yeah,
don't
you
have
read
a
the
book?
book.
Why don't I have the book?
59% of those are ruby chamomile. So we'll just say out of the 20 that you
That's a
find,
lot,
it's gonna be a
though.
little. It's gonna be about 12.
So
12 ruby chamomile and 8 standard chamomile.
Is this just dried herbs?
Yeah, these definitely appear to be dried, even though they're magically preserved. It doesn't really matter what state these herbs are in for the purpose of alchemy, but many alchemists do dry them to, of course, improve the longevity of their ingredients.
cool. If that's all that's there, then I'm good. I don't want to tie this up too much. So yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Did anybody cast detect magic when we came in here?
9.
Anand. No, Anand, you cast a detect magic, but like fucking everything glowed when you did.
Yes,
Um,
the whole room glowed.
Can
You want to do it again?
yeah? Can I cast detect magic and just peer inside some windows rather than just looking at the ley lines and stuff? I just want to like look inside some windows, see if there's like anything
Sure.
in the rooms.
Give
Can I
me an
investigation?
investigation. Yeah, an
With
investigation.
advantage,
Why would?
Why?
because I get an advantage with investigation checks.
Oh, well, if there's something you have that does that, then sure.
Show off.
Oh, with a 4.
Oh
nothing
my
to see
God.
here.
Bro, that's... wow.
Can we just use my passive perception?
No, and perception would get you something different. Perception would point you in the direction of what you need to find. Investigation
Yeah.
would be what
Four
actually finds it.
Drop the 4. So dumb. Oh my god.
You find they've got a few mana crystals in this house.
Yeah.
All right.
There's about if you want them, there's 4 of them. To of course match your roll of 4. Do you want them? You can collect them.
I don't have any of them, but no, I'm sure Non-Hat was collecting them.
Okay,
I've already given all my mana crystals to Anon. I don't have any.
Okay.
They sustain me.
Why is it saying that the server's down for me? Like, it's just not coming up. I don't know. I think my finish is gone, or my computer's fucked up or something.
As long as it's gone, I don't care. All right. So that's what you find. Anything else anybody would like to do in this ancient city?
I think I'm good. Unless I think I'm good.
By the way, I'll go ahead and say, because I couldn't find it in my notes, but I wasn't opening the right document. You all have seen evidence that this city was called Vel Rakaimon, was the name of the city. If you would like spelling, I will get you the spelling. It is Vlarikaimon.
And we're level 8, right, guys?
Why not just type it in chat?
That is an excellent idea.
then we
Why
can
didn't?
copy and paste to our Word docs?
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, no, I got nothing. I think I'm gonna attune to the heart pendant.
Think so?
Yeah, while we're walking out of here. I'm gonna try and do it while we're leisurely strolling.
Dude, the all-knowing feat.
So I'd have to look at these feats that you're talking about, but many of them are literally the Book of Dragons came with rules where if you literally just wanted to play an actual dragon, and some of them are feats for actual dragons. So I'd have to check.
I'm just looking at him.
So, all right. So you guys make your way out of Serpent Head Cavern.
Mm-hmm.
What is that?
We make it out of Serpent Head Cavern.
All right. So you make your way out and you see your car just how you left it, parked at the edge of the stream. I assume you depart.
Hey.
Yeah.
All right, so you make the drive, and it takes a little bit. It takes about an hour to get back to the city, but you arrive, and as you are passing through the city, you see a familiar face re-entering the Heroes Guild. I assume probably looking for you guys, but surprisingly, unexpectedly, you see one Raven Sailwind re-entering the Saurian Heroes Guild.
Guys, you see that? Let's wait to go in there so he doesn't notice us.
Let's
She But yes.
Let's just go to a different tavern.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, Raven, roll a perception check. See if you notice them or not.
Rolling stealth.
I cast Password Trace.
Oh, look at that. My perception is one of my better skills.
Flag.
Like,
Why is my rolls not working?
yeah, mine aren't either. I rolled a 9 though, I think. I don't know.
You're not. Are you dropping it into the box?
Yeah, I just did it multiple.
Nice.
So here they're
Nice.
loading now. 19. I rolled the 19.
I rolled a
Okay.
19
Well, you rolled
Oh, I
a
rolled a
16.
perception to see them.
You notice the group. Whether the group stops for you is their personal choice to make. But you see them in the car.
19.
You're a passenger in this car.
I'm the most inconspicuous passenger.
Okay,
I blend into the
you
seat.
don't see Anand in the car, but you see the car.
You don't see me either because I rolled a nat 20.
Make a roll.
Where's Flora and Anand in this car?
Since when did we get 5% window?
In the car roll, roll its own stealth check.
I'm gonna step in front of the car.
You're gonna step in front of the car. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna be about 10 feet away, enough for Bond to stop, but I'm gonna step in front of the car.
Hey, Bon, Raven
him
steps
over.
in front of the
I'm
car.
kidding.
Are you revving the engine or are you stopping?
Stop.
Are you sure? I really feel like you should just push the pedal to the floor.
While he's going, I'm just gonna cast Hold Person on Bond so he can't take his foot off the accelerator.
Wait, are you being serious?
No.
Are you sure? Because that would be hilarious.
Wait, that would be perfect.
In fact, I'll twin cast it on him and Raven so Raven can't move.
Oh, that's awesome, dude. That's really good.
Please tell me you're being serious.
No.
Yes.
Oh, come
man.
on!
Oh, that would be terrible.
That would have been perfect. I would have loved that.
I hate you all.
I stop.
Alright, so you stop the car.
Yeah.
And, it's your good friend Raven, who you expected to be occupied with the Dark Suns,
Mm-hmm.
but appears not to be, which is curious. But she is there none the same.
So Bond?
Wait, hold on. I thought we were gonna go back to the college before we went to the bar.
You
wanna go to
would, but
college.
you pass it on the street on the way.
Oh.
So what trouble are y'all getting into?
Get in, sucker! We're gonna go get money.
Oh, money? Okay.
Money, money, money!
I'm gonna go, I guess I'll get in.
All right, there's there's the back seat has a empty space, though it's like the middle seat, you know, the one nobody wants. You have to crawl over Lucas to get there.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me, Lucas. Oh.
I will pick up Mr. Pibbles, who had his own seat, and I'll put him in my lap.
Pibbles.
Mr. Pibbles hisses at Raven. All right. Still making your way. You guys say anything? Do anything?
Making our way downtown.
Walking fast.
Oh, by the way.
I'm a seagull. Go fuck yourself. Da-da-da-da-da-do. Da-do-do.
They do realize that I don't have any weapons on me, by the way.
Really?
Okay.
Okay.
At least not anything visible.
I don't know, dude. Does Bond investigation?
Investigation. Check my
What?
ass.
Where are your weapons, man?
No. Right here. I snap.
That's right. You gained a level in Warlock.
I snap and it just appears in my hand, and I snap again and it disappears.
Oh no. Okay.
That's right. You have a packed weapon now.
Yes. What patron do you serve?
The old serpent.
One.
one I've been following since the beginning of this campaign.
Is he a Yanti?
No, he
That
is
would be
a
cool.
draconic elf.
Oh, okay.
I follow the World Serpent.
So,
That's cool.
all right. So you make your way downtown, walking fast
Yes.
with a Glock. All right.
With block.
You get shot.
Clack.
They can't shoot me.
That's Bond's theme
They
song.
can't see me.
All right. I'm getting sidetracked. Sorry, guys. So, after a few brief minutes, after picking up Raven, who has mysteriously is no longer on a Dark Suns contract, even though she told you that's what she was going to be gone
Oh, shut the fuck up, Gavin.
doing. She appears to be back.
All right. Well, the gang's all here. Now time to go get paid.
So,
Hey, Gavin, just so it's on stream, as for level 5, I'm picking up Metamagic Adept,
you mean level
Subtle,
8?
yeah, Metamagic Adept, Subtle Spell, and Distant Spell.
Cool, man. I think that is you said subtle and distant?
Yes.
Okay.
So that way you can't counterspell my clutch heals when we need them. If I decide to throw them out.
Me?
And, yeah. Oh, I hope you know Strahd's gonna do it to you. Try to cast Revivify. Nah.
I'm just going to back up 65 feet.
But yeah, okay. Anyways, no, the only thing right before we get to the college, I kind of want to address everybody. Ooh, the black box. I see your black box, and I raise you Cabernet in a whiskey bottle. Yeah, I want to say to everybody, like, now I know that I had a slight altercation with the professor our last visit here. He might not like me. Difference of opinions. He is kind of a fascist. Just saying. I would prefer to not engage in conversation with him again.
I mean, if you just want to hang out here,
That
you're
is
welcome
not the way of Pilor.
I don't understand. How is that not the way?
But you know
Be nice.
I am
Love
nice.
him.
I have nothing good
Change
to say.
his mind.
You know
Bring
what?
him to the light.
You know what, Anan? You are 100% right. How could I have been so cruel? I'm going,
Yes.
and I will give him a piece of my mind
Yes.
with Molly and Lucas standing beside me.
Sounds perfect.
Can you just do that after we get paid?
I mean, Pelor waits for no soul. I
All right,
storm
he'll
off.
be waiting outside while we're getting paid, and then he can come in.
Only. Well, yeah, I guess.
We'll make our way inside.
All right.
Yep, we'll stroll inside.
So you make your way through the halls of the Zulu Makir College of History and Anthropology, making your way to his office, before you open the door that says Dr. Kyrell on the outside. And you enter.
I don't.
and
I
you
don't just enter. We knock. We're not rude barbarians.
You knock. Okay. He says, "Yes,
In fact,
you might
we
enter."
cast knock. No, okay.
So you blow the door off its hinges.
Yes, we knock. We've come for our money. Pay up.
Enter.
I open the door and immediately jump to the side. There's motion for someone else to go first.
Yeah, I guess I was standing next to him, so I'll walk in.
I'll walk in behind him.
I must
Jams.
admit, I was not 100% certain that you would return, but I assume this means you were successful.
No, I'm gonna need some jams. I can't play without jams.
We killed dragons.
Well, some of your information needed some tweaking because what you told us wasn't exactly accurate.
Oh,
Yeah, there was definitely not an onyx dragon in there.
an obsidian dragon, you mean?
I think you said onyx.
You said Onyx.
I'm pretty sure I said obsidian.
Oh, well, I'm pretty sure
You
we
said
said
onyx.
onyx.
Like, I thought I was Brock because there was so much Onyx.
The DM is pretty sure that he said obsidian.
You said onyx.
Well, onyx dragons aren't real. If I said onyx, I meant obsidian. That's what they're called.
Well, all the same. None of that. What we found was a fang dragon. And its babies.
Wait, you said a fang dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Chromatic dragons are not supposed to be here. There is a pact between the metallics and the gemstone dragons that they are to repel any chromatic dragon who attempts to enter the continent.
Excuse me, Professor. This is not class. I'm just telling you what we found.
You sure it wasn't a rogue silver dragon, perhaps?
I reach into my bag and I pull out one of the scales from him. That's Fang.
Interesting. I will report these findings at once. This is both curious and alarming.
Hang on. Do you want the full debriefing of what's going on here?
Of course, I apologize.
That's alright.
Tell me, what did you find? I assume you ventured no further.
Well,
and disturbed no evidence.
The problem with it is you actually had a whole infestation of them. So we got more than just Mom. I don't know. Do we know what gender it was of the main one that we killed?
Female.
Yeah. So we got Mom. And we got a lot of the babies, but I don't know if we even got all of the babies. And we definitely didn't get Dad.
Well, obviously the case, with this being a fang dragon, I'm not an expert on dragons, but I am an expert on archaeology, and what I know from fang dragons is that typically the mother and the father part ways long before the children are born.
Are these American fang dragons?
No, they're just from Clayton County. Anyway.
Oh, that's terrible.
So what you're telling me is that we're also siblings.
Oh my god.
We were also attacked by automatons.
Yeah.
And it was horrifying. And I do not appreciate having my life put on the line for your silly archaeology missions of murder.
Automatons?
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I
Waiting
said.
at the entrance to the city, you found automatons.
No, they were where the baby dragons were.
Which is where?
In
right
the
behind
city.
the main dragon's lair.
You entered into the city?
It was a main
You
dragon's
told us to go kill the dragons. And
there
you
was
said
a
we could
nest-
get
I
everything
said
up in the
not
dragon
to
hole.
enter the city.
You didn't even
was
say
a
there
nest.
was. Hang
Your very
on.
steps could have disturbed ancient lore.
First of all, you're not going to raise your voice with
We were
me or my
flying.
friends. Second of all, we just did you a favor. Third of all, you didn't even tell us there was a city because you didn't know what was in there.
Yeah,
So
how
you
did
did
know there
know.
was a city in there? Oh, insight check.
Yeah, give me an insight check.
Yeah, I'm
And,
rolling with him. I'm
Lucas,
rolling with
give
him
me an
as well.
intimidation check.
Yes. I'm
Oh,
liking
look at
this.
that.
I'm a scary witch!
He looks at you, Lucas, and says, I apologize for my anger, but you defied the terms of the contract.
No,
No.
we didn't.
You
What he
said,
did.
allow me to just reiterate. You said that we would have to go and kill the dragon and get anything that was in the dragon's hoard. The hoard obviously goes further back because it was guarding an entire city, which it had all of its babies and everything in there. So we were just going to get what you told us we could have our hands on.
And you never mentioned a city.
I had reason to believe that there was likely a city.
Oh, you don't sound
in
like it
there.
was likely at all. You sound like you knew for a fact.
Was the last time you went down there, Professor?
A month ago. perhaps.
And you didn't know the Fang Dragon, like, right there at the entrance? Like,
Sounds like you were
Lord
looking
Blood?
for an exterminator as opposed to an adventuring
someone-
party.
Someone that preaches and yells at the city streets about preserving life. And you want to exterminate our natural order.
Yes, because a being had taken up residence in an ancient city.
Oh, it's almost as if an abomination of a race decided to take up half a continent.
By the way, Neston, with that insight check, I can't tell you more, but with a 15, what I can say is
He's
that
full
he
of shit.
appears to be becoming uncomfortable with the conversation.
Yeah.
Well,
That is
I-
what you're able to pick up
22.
on.
So Anon's
Anon's like,
Oh, Bon.
yeah, look what we both. Yes.
So with Bon and Anand, on top of that, in addition to, you can obviously tell he's becoming uncomfortable with the conversation. He's stumbling over his words. You can very clearly tell that he's running everything that he is saying through his head before he says it, to just attempt to make sure he doesn't say anything that he is going to regret.
Hey, Gavin. Can I
Change
do
of
a
poop.
thing?
Yes.
I'll be right back.
Can I do a thing?
What would you like to do?
Can I subtle cast Zone of Truth?
You can. He is not going to know that you have cast it, but
I know.
that is not to mean that he will not know he's under some kind of magical effect. He, however, does have to make a saving throw if you are going to do that.
He has to make a saving throw every 6 seconds. Until he fails.
Is it every
that how
turn?
Works.
It's
Zone
every
of
turn.
Truth.
There's no escaping the Zone of Truth unless you run away from it.
A creature that enters the spell area for the first time on a turn or starts its turn there must make a charisma saving throw. On a failed save, you're right.
Yeah, there's
So-
no getting away from it.
What's your DC? Is it
That's a
16?
good- That's a good thing. 5, 3.
8 plus 3 plus wisdom, so it would be 16.
Yeah, 16. And he has disadvantage
Why does he have disadvantage?
because of Lucas's intimidation, because he's a scary witch.
No, I'm not gonna say he has disadvantage. Well, I didn't have to do this multiple times. So that's a natural 6, which for him is an 11. His wisdom is actually fairly high, but it's just a low natural roll.
Now, Professor, I'm going to say this once. Polo demands the truth from you.
I choose not to speak.
Really? It's pretty childish.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Look,
All right.
No.
Well, then let's get our 1,000 gold each, and we'll be out of your way.
Can I
And
just make
the
a...
sentence-
I agree. We're here for the money. Look, Professor, you're looking at us antagonistically, but you needed our help, and if you want to listen to the rest of what we found, I can guarantee you're going to need our help again. Do you want to have a good working relationship so that you don't necessarily have to get more people involved in what it is that you were trying to find? Just let us know what we're getting into, and maybe we can have a more long-term working agreement with each other.
That's a
Oh,
good point.
hey,
I've
by
been
the
trying
way-
to do this often, but I will actually give you advantage on this. Make a persuasion
Hey,
check.
by the way, everyone else needs to make those same saving throws. There's no getting away from it.
Unless you cast it on his space and nobody else is in that space.
We're all in the same room. It's a 15-foot radius.
All
This
right,
room
well,
is a bit bigger than 15 feet. If you angled it right next to the wall, you could make it
I would
encompass
say
him and
I
not the
need
rest
to
of the
just
group.
because I was in his face.
Okay.
Was it a wisdom saving throw?
Yeah.
Yeah. DC 16.
No, well, there you go.
Well, oh my god. That's an auto success.
Yeah. Oh no, he passed.
If everybody else is standing close to the door, you don't have to make
And
the
there's
save.
another nat 20.
Oh my god. He says to you, and keeping in mind he can't lie because of that zone of truth, I'm interested in maintaining a good working relationship, and you bring up a valid point. If there's any information that is going to be disclosed, I'd rather the people who continue doing this investigation be the people who already know.
All right.
So, sure.
I tell
That
you what,
makes sense.
we've done our bit and a little bit more. Why don't you give us a little bit more to go on here? Give us some information, and one hand can wash the other. We'll return some.
My theory is this, that the explanation for the massive amount of mana that exists on this continent stems from this city, which is why I've sought it so religiously. I believe there could be a cure for our addiction that can be gleaned from the knowledge that this ancient elven civilization accrued. Which is why I have searched for the lost city of Velrakaimon for the majority of my entire career. It's why I became an archaeologist in the first place.
Gavin, does Velik Heimar ring any bells to me?
Make a religion check. This is going to be religion and not history on this one.
Can I make a history check? I don't know if that was something that would come up in Nightmine.
I'll let you make...
If not, then
no, this is more religion.
nah. Okay.
So...
I peer over and I'm like, hey, are we going to tell him about the teleportation seed?
So, Tony, you're going to have to help me out on this one, because I forgot the lore. What is the name of the elven city in the afterlife? The city that elves see visions of when they enter their reverie.
Magic City.
No, it's not Magic City. But yeah, okay, I know what you're talking about. I just can't. When you asked me, I forgot.
Isn't it
I'll
like
remember
a
as soon
lore or
as
something?
What's that?
Isn't it like a lore or something?
Well, it's like heaven for elves.
Yeah, no, I think
Like
I thought it was-
Valhalla.
Yeah, I thought it was called like a lore or something.
I don't know, but yeah, I understand what you're saying.
I can figure out real quick. I just have to check
Watch
some
a
of my
YouTube
notes.
video.
No.
What's the matter? It's not like Neston can see it anyway anymore.
Why you gotta hate on me so much?
Okay. It's gonna hit the roots right there.
Arvandor, there we go. So there is... So he continues to speak and says, there's an ancient legend about the ancient elves of this continent conducted a ritual where they... Of course, every elf longs to return to Arvandor. We long to finally have an end to our cycle of reincarnation and to settle there with our god. Well, I believe this civilization grabbed a chunk of Orvandor through ancient elven high magic and brought it to our realm so they could be at peace. I believe that this city once belonged to Arvandor. I believe that Velrakaimon once belonged there, and that's why I've sought so greatly to find it.
I'm sorry.
And I
what
believe
did
that-
you say? Velverkaimen? And what now?
Velrakaimon.
Yeah, the name of the
is
city.
bel-
I got you.
Yes, is believed to be the name of that city you went into, and that he thinks that it was once a chunk of Orvandor, basically a piece of land from Orvandor that was grabbed from that realm and brought to the material plane.
Okay.
So there you have it. That is why I've sought Velrakaimon like I have, and I have interest in this source of magic.
Well, I have
Do you
good
think it'll
news.
help the primals?
Oh.
When you ask that question, he doesn't open his mouth and can say an answer.
Are you associated with the voice of the Vizier?
To an extent.
Who?
The High Vizier of the Vold Consortium, yes. Him and I are good friends.
Alright, let's get back to the topic here. First, can we please get paid? Because we get the shit beat out of us as I motion to myself and my bloody lip and everything. Second, good news. There's some very heavy magical things with the ley lines there, but unfortunately bad news. It's all very heavily guarded.
There should be nothing left living in those ruins.
I didn't say it was living, I just said it was guarded. You heard it's mentioned before, automatons.
Yes, and I personally believe that the ancient elves were far more evolved than many of us give them credit for.
Well, you can call them evolved or not, but the robots in there don't joke around. So, we were in there exterminating the baby dragons, and while we were in the main precipice building in that town, we apparently pissed off some of the automatons that are guarding
So you, of
the main
course,
series.
eliminated those automatons.
Negative.
No,
there
we
was
we
a
ran.
lot.
We
Yeah.
couldn't defeat them.
One, well, I feel like I've done too many numbers here. A,
We didn't run. We tactically retreated.
Yeah.
It's a tactical
a
retreat.
very
There's
tactical,
no running.
very retreat.
So
we put a
why
dent
couldn't
into
you
them.
defeat them?
Well, a lot of them,
registered heroes.
and they used the ley lines to heal themselves.
To heal themselves, you say?
Yes, to heal themselves.
The actual energy from the ley line.
To heal themselves.
Well, that is fascinating.
All right, buddy, tit for tat. We gave you a little bit more, give us a little more.
What is it that you wish to know if we are to cement this alliance?
To be honest, what's your overall game plan here? What's in it for you?
To see the elevation of the Vold kind to their full potential.
A non-collapse.
All right. I think you're a little
Yes.
hesitant about where we stand on our morals here. I couldn't care less if you want to ascend the bold, have my friend here at Nod, make him where he's not somebody that's constantly getting all sorts of flack for who he is. That's fine by me. I just want to know what it is exactly I would be getting into, what my friends here would be getting into if we get associated with you and whatever your endeavors are.
Tell me everything that you found inside of these ruins. I will answer your question if you do that. What was at the end of it? What is it that they were guarding?
We don't know. The ley lines converged into something, but anytime we tried to get close is when the automatons activated and attacked us.
Looked like a portal.
A portal, you say?
Maybe. Spherical, but we couldn't exactly get close enough to really see what it was.
One day, when you feel as though you are capable, I would like to mount an expedition. If there is a portal that you say, I wish to know what is on the other side, and I wish
Yep.
to be there when the discovery is made.
What will you pay for this?
What is it that you would like?
A staff of power. I'm sure you've heard of it.
I have. Those are quite rare. I can see what I can do, but I unfortunately can't make a promise there.
You're pretty well read. How well do you know about ancient artifacts?
They're a hobby of mine. I definitely dabble. You could say I do some light reading in my free time.
Well, I need someone that does a little bit more than light reading. I do light reading. So,
Isn't he bound to a wheelchair?
No, he's not in a wheelchair.
Oh, okay. I don't know why.
When I say light reading, I mean this
He's
is
just a nerd.
all I do when I am not actively teaching students.
alright.
Light reading, as in it, is not what I devote my profession to, but it is something that I definitely have a strong interest in. What is that you would like to know?
Then How?
Okay.
If all you do is read books, then how did you escape the cave with the dragon inside of it?
He chooses not
To
to
be
answer.
fair, that's his profession.
You must be a very powerful mage. Must have watched all those people get killed, because there's a lot of bodies.
He chooses not to answer.
How many others have you sent into that town?
Cave. It was a cave.
He doesn't allow them to go into the town.
As of yet, I have lost 24 researchers in this pursuit.
And it's which group did you go with? The first or the last?
He chooses not to answer.
You're really not playing by the rules here, Professor.
So, Professor, you probably went in with the first.
I would assume.
And the last.
Saw them kill all of your researchers. Ran like a little bitch. And now you are trying to find adventuring heroes to go in there and clean up the mess that you probably stirred up.
No.
All in the idea of trying to find any kind of resemblance of our Holy Land.
It is for the greater good, and I truly believe so.
Are you sure, or is it not for your...
I am sure.
But see, people like you, I have been around many people like you. What they say could be for the greater good is usually for the greater of one. I believe you have an inkling of what's behind that portal.
Make
And what do
a
you believe?
charisma check. I just want to see how much of an impact you're having on this guy.
All we gotta do is get him to actually say some words.
That's an 8. I don't have great charisma.
Remember, y'all can't lie either.
You just said a check.
What was the
Yeah,
DC?
that's just a charisma check.
You didn't say persuasion or anything like that.
No,
so-
this is for sheer force of personality, is what you were
Gotcha.
rolling for.
But again, like I said, I believe that you have your own devious intents, and you have some belief behind what's that portal. Now see, I haven't been in there because I was away on business.
If you say something that makes a big impact, I'll let you roll again.
But returning with my friends and hearing the battle damage that they have dealt with, I don't quite feel... Now, they may feel comfortable continuing something with you, but I do not feel comfortable because I believe you have your own selfish ways about things. You are very,
Make
very
a charisma
selfish.
check again.
$15.
He slams the table. This is for the good of all Vold! Every one of us!
So I just need to do something here very quick.
I think I hit a nerve.
I'm going to Subtle Spell cast Minor Illusion, and you're just going to see my shadow around my feet just emerge out into a bunch of different blades.
Interesting.
I'm going to look at him straight on in the face with my red eyes. I told you not to raise your voice to me or my friends. That's 2. There will not be a 3rd.
think
Intimidation
that,
check with advantage, please.
I think that we've learned everything that we can. I think
He
it's time
takes a
we
couple steps
collect our
back.
reward.
I'm sorry.
Alright.
This isn't just for me.
The shadows retreat. That's fine. Again, I don't really care what your plans are personally, but the next time we meet, I would suggest that you try and work with us a little bit better. Again, we're trying to help each other out, aren't we?
I appreciate your contributions to the cause.
And I'll appreciate yours. We still haven't been paid yet.
Of course. He goes over to his desk, picks up what looks to be this little speaker, holds it up to his mouth, presses a button. Excuse me. Surely, if you could come in here, please. After a brief few moments, you hear a knock on the door. Come in. And this dark-skinned Saurian woman opens the door and she says, You called for me, Doctor? Yes, pay these brave adventurers, please. Take them to the treasury. Give them what they are owed. I believe we agreed to 1,000 gold pieces for each of you. However,
That was 6,000.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah, for each one of them. Well, yeah, 1,000 for each equals it. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, Gavin froze? Yes, that was 12,000.
Silence is consent. Unless you disagree, it was 25,000 for each one of us.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
We're gonna be millionaires by the end of this. Oh, fantasy.
Fantasy Grounds just went
Oh
down, Gavin.
my.
Good job
There we
crashing
go.
Fantasy
Gavin
Grounds,
back.
Gavin.
back.
Gavin, you froze.
The guy who got his car towed cut Gavin's internet line.
Yes.
Yeah, Gavin, you froze, so we didn't hear anything after you said.
Take him to the treasury.
After you said we all
Can
get
you hear
$20
me
million.
now?
Yeah, we hear you now.
Yeah,
we can.
Okay.
After you said take me to the treasury, we didn't hear anything.
He
Yeah,
said,
and the fact
he
that you
said,
said we get both $20,000.
Oh, is that what I said? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
20,000 gold a piece.
He says, give these brave adventurers what they are owed. 1,000 gold for 6 of them. That one there, well, I do not recall you being the one part of the party that ventured into these ruins, so I apologize, but perhaps your comrades will reimburse you with part of the reward.
I'm not about it.
Should we get something for going off with the...
Yeah, did I get something to going off with the Dark Suns?
You didn't go anywhere. You were gone for a
You,
night.
you didn't actually finish a job, is the thing.
That's
I was planning on giving you, if you joined in March, a good chunk of money for your time, but I was actually going to do like an hourly rate calculation based on how long it was, but you were gone for a night, man. They
I'm
covered
not
your
worried
travel
about it.
expenses, but it didn't cost you anything.
I'm not worried about it, Gavin. I'm really not.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to make so much more doing this. And
Yeah.
if
Right.
they leave to the treasury, I'm going to stay with the guy and talk with him.
Okay. We'll cover them getting to the treasury first, then we'll circle back to you.
Oh wait, hold up. I wanted to mention something to him. So there's a
Okay.
teleportation circle in the ruins. That is going to be our entry point the time we come back, so that we ain't gotta talk. We ain't gotta come through this and do all this crap. There's a teleportation circle. Now, if that is tampered with, faults with, I promise you, you are not going to want to mess with us.
I look at you and I'm like,
Okay.
We
Bond,
weren't-
give me a lot of intimidation checks
aren't gonna
today.
say
Bond,
that.
give me an intimidation.
darn
Well,
it.
Seeing him do that, can I at least give him advantage because I just scared the shit out of this guy.
What are you gonna say to assist? Something to
Well,
accompany.
I mean, I'm already
I'm gonna
in this
give
guy's
him-
face after I raised my voice, and like he just saw me do my
You
whole
would have
witchy
to say
thing.
something additionally to add to this. You give me words. Any words at all that make sense.
I look at him
I will
dead
let
in
it
the
know.
eye from Bond, and I go, "Ditto."
I let my
Sure,
spine.
Bond, why not?
No,
Have
listen,
advantage.
I got Anon wants to
What
help.
do you got?
No, Anon sits there and he lets the spikes slowly slide out of his wrists, and he's like, "You should know how serious we are when we're pursuing something. Though we are kin."
I will say Anon already vowed vengeance on those automatons because they scuffed up his carpet,
Nah,
I believe.
it's not even about that. It's
I'm
the
pretty
purpose
sure-
of the matter.
I'm pretty sure you were saying they scratched my carpet. They're all going to die. I swear, Pigeons. And you
Scratch. That sounds terrible that they were
And then you
scratching on my
carved the
carpet.
word, and then you carved the word automaton into your arm.
Yeah,
No.
I'm pretty
You
sure.
ruined my special moment.
I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
I was gonna tell him, I will
I'll
drain
give
you. I will drain you.
Anand, you would know that Vold cannot get sustenance from each other.
It's not the point of getting sustenance. It's the point of the drainage. That sounds so
That's
bad.
what she said.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Hold up, I'm getting my character up. I Fantasy Grounds all pooped out, so I'm waiting for the load. And I'll do my intimidation check with advantage.
Tell him I fed from the ley line. It felt
Oh my god.
great.
are you actually saying that?
Yes.
No.
He looks at you and says, "You must be joking. If you had, you would likely not be speaking to me, as well as you would have caused irreparable damage to that particular line. Based on the fact that I see no disruptions and the fact that you are standing in front of me still alive, I'm going to guess that you did not."
I'm gonna
That was my intent. I want to feed on it when I go back. It looked delicious.
I'm gonna reach in and pull up my ivory wand as he kind of said that, and then just and I'll just put it back without actually pulling it out.
Oops. We're dipping this and this, dipping that and that, dipping that and that.
I thought it was like a special dipping sauce, man. Just get the different flavors.
I'm just gonna roll one more.
I mean, I gave you
Dippage.
that wand so you could essentially customize your own magical item, so...
Sorry, y'all.
Actually, look.
I get
Oh,
one
dude.
more. Hold up.
Hey, I've got a.
Alright.
Y'all might
There we
appreciate
go.
this
That
man.
works. 18, baby.
This is funny.
The teleportation
y'all
circle
don't
will not be
agree
tampered
with
with.
All right.
All right,
that is
good.
all.
Time to go get our money. That is all. Time to go get our money.
Things got a little heated here. I apologize on my part and yours, but I think we can all say that let's not fuck with each other or fuck each other
Come
over.
to agreement. We came to agreement.
So we'll go
Where's
get
the
our
money?
money. You continue doing whatever it is you do, and when we're ready, we'll come back and try this again.
Hey.
When you're at the treasury, if you would like, for your own convenience, if you wish to sell any hoard that you might have located, Shirley can help you with that.
Villainy whore?
Or.
Oh.
Or.
Oh. Okay. Just checking.
Okay, bye.
But yes.
Yeah, let's roll.
Okay, bye.
As she's walking down the hallway, she just to make casual conversation. I appreciate everything you've done for this department. I have a great deal of respect for Dr. Kyrell. If he believes this is important, especially enough to divert some of our research funds to, then by all means, the lot of you have my respect as well.
Oh,
We're
look,
all,
somebody who's
battered
not a
and
jerk.
bloody, and
Thank you.
we're all fucked up walking through this hallway.
Fine. I'll bleed all over the treasure as I put it in my pocket.
So I just wish to thank you for your assistance with this department. I'm still currently under my graduate study, but Dr. Kyrell has been my primary mentor.
Oh, well, thank you for that. I'm sorry. I don't think I got your name yet.
Shirley.
Shirley.
Shirley or Shelley?
Shirley.
Shirley. And how old are you, Miss Shirley?
I am 24.
That's a mature age.
Is it?
It-
That's like a
mature
that's
enough.
like a baby.
I mean,
I've seen younger.
she's older than me.
Really? Lucas, I thought you were like at least 200.
Hmm?
I
22?
mean, now how do you
I'll,
have so much gray hair already on your face?
That don't... What?
Anon slips her a note and says, I'll give you something to study later.
Yeah. Anyway, can we get to the
Lucas, you notice on your scruffle that... do you have any facial hair, or are you clean shaven?
No, it's pretty much like Just a stubble.
Okay.
5 o'clock.
You
shadow.
notice
Yeah.
a single gray hair in your stubble.
Ooh.
Tink. Oh. I cast Minor Illusion on it.
Are you actually passing the note, Anand?
Yes.
Give me a
Persuasion.
no, just charisma to see how you're carrying yourself.
A desperation check.
Bruh.
Dude, I'm the you know, the classic early 2000s dark bad guy. All right, let me see. Straight charisma roll, you say?
Yeah.
Darn, I'm kind of nervous. How do I
Once you
roll
get a
that?
if you get a nat 20, then you're just
Where's the
played.
button?
You're
It is
straight
on
up
the left
pimping.
side of your main page. Where under
Oh,
abilities-
there, that one. Yeah, I just rolled a d20.
Okay, so
Dude, why is
going-
it so, roll like so?
Are you dropping it in the chat? Because I'm not seeing any rolls.
No, it's not wanting to move. The game's Fantasy Grounds is tripping. Is what I'm trying to say.
So which of these hordes did people want to sell off? Y'all
Oh,
got y'all
there
know
we go.
y'all
Oh, I rolled 3 by accident. I'm sorry.
because
We'll go with the 12. So that's a 13.
Okay.
She blushes, and considering she's dark-skinned, it's a major blush to be able to notice. But that's all you get. As she acts like, as she reads the note, goes wide-eyed for a second, like, anyway, yes, let's get to the treasury. Let's make our way. It's a little hot in here.
You know what they say about Volds.
What? They'll suck you dry.
Exactly.
I'm kidding. Oh.
Y'all are so awful.
Anyways, we get
He
to the
spreads
treasury.
my cheeks and he makes me
Oh my
scream.
god. Alright. We get to the treasury and we get our gold.
So she says, here, 1,000 gold for each of you. We have these sectioned off. She sort of one by one grabs a big sack of gold, and it's heavy. It's got some weight. This sack of gold probably weighs 30 to 40 pounds that she hands to you, to each one of you, other than, I'm sorry, Raven.
No, Raven
I'm
stayed
even,
back.
I'm not even there.
Oh, that's right.
Vaughn is
And,
in here with us, right?
Yeah, I'm in you.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you
Well,
have any gems that you wish to contribute to the treasury? Of course, I can compensate you. Make your lives a little easier.
Guys, the only thing that I would like to get rid of is a black pearl, unless somebody needs the black pearl. Like
I
Do you
don't
want to
really
hold on to
like-
all of it?
the bejeweled crown. Well, some of the stuff we can use as spell components.
And we.
Um,
I don't actually have any
Wall-
of that stuff in my bag. So.
crystal.
While you
dragon
figure
mask.
that out, I'm going to knock out whatever it is that Raven wanted to do. While you figure that out. So be thinking, especially Tony, about what it is you want to hold on to and what you want to sell. While you're doing that, we're going to circle back.
Hey, Vaughn, we're in a treasure room. Work your magic.
What is this?
Oh yeah.
Peridot carved in the shape of a leaf. What is this?
Again, be thinking about that.
Tell me what it is.
It's exactly what it says it is. You've already cast Detect Magic. You know none of that stuff is magical. It's all solely valued based on its material wealth. I mean, based on its material value. It's just nice gems.
Okay.
So, we're gonna circle back to that. I'm gonna go and handle Raven's conversation. So, Raven, as your party leaves and is escorted to the treasury, you are left behind in this study with this Dr. Kyrell from the Department of History and Anthropology. And he says, yes, I'm sorry, I don't believe I caught your name.
Captain Raven Sailor.
A pleasure. Did you have something you wish to discuss apart from your companions?
Yes. So, what do you believe is behind that portal?
Keeping in mind the Zone of Truth is still active. He says, no?
No, it stays with me.
Oh, it stays with you? Okay.
Yeah, it's centered on me.
I personally believe that the answer to the very long question of where the source of magic of the entire continent of Althansia, I believe the answer to that speculation is behind that portal. My personal theory, if you would wish to hear that, is what I can give you, but it is simply a theory. Would you like to hear it?
I would.
I believe there is a portal within the phlogiston that this links to, that connects our crystal sphere to magical worlds throughout the entire cosmos. That is my personal belief. The, of course, dangerous thing to consider is that if you were to pass through that portal, and it does indeed enter the phlogiston, you would not want to take any flammable fuel source with you. You would not want to take any source of flame, and you would of course want to make certain that you did not have anything that is on fire with you. In addition to that, if you are somebody who has a patron, who has a deity, you would find that your powers there simply just do not work. The phlogiston is cut off from the majority of the material plane. The crystal spheres that reside within it, or alpha space as our current crystal sphere is known as, exist within the phlogiston. And if you have power that comes from an external source, as such with a patron or a deity, you would no longer have access to that power while within the phlogiston. That is, of course, a threat that many of our spellcasters today would need to consider upon entering. Of course, as well, there is the problem of there's no oxygen there, so you would need a vessel of some sort when you pass through the portal. But, of course, this is all conjecture. It could go somewhere else. I don't know. But I do know that for so many ley lines to be connected to this continent, that it could not come from simply one world, which is why I believe that the source of this portal, the originating point, is within the phlogiston, because it would need to be there to connect to multiple worlds.
Very interesting. See, so this is more of... Is your goal more of trying to find out if it is the phlogiston, or is it actually to make the Vold higher? Or is it to make the Vold higher because a researcher has found this? Because it is very dangerous to go in there and deal with the sentinels that are in there, if we can, and don't all die.
Let me describe the appearance of this guy to you, Brandon. So this is very obviously a awakened Vold, but there's an alarming degree to his appearance. Primarily that he almost looks like a missing link, like a middle point between primal and awakened, so much so that he looks like a primal just as much as he looks like an awakened, that it's almost unsettling being in his presence. Where if you saw him, and of course he was, well, naked, and you saw him from behind, you would imagine that is on the smaller side, you would think that's a primal Vold. Until you actually got a chance to get a good look at his face.
Hey guys,
so
I'll check the group chat real quick.
He's a bit unsettling to be around, simply because of that.
I mean, I don't get unsettled by much.
Yeah, I get that, but you did have a very close run-in with the primal, so you are very familiar with what they look like, and he looks as much like a primal as he does an awakened. And there's also the fact that he's over 7.5 feet tall, which is much taller than any typical awakened Vold is.
So, you said that you want another expedition down there.
I do.
And you
I wish
asked
to
us
see
our-
what is on the other side.
You asked us our price. The question is how deep are your pockets?
I mean, I work for the most successful university in pretty much the world. However, it's not a matter of how much we have, it's a matter of what allotment I can have approved. While I am vice president of this department, even the president of the department can only pull so many funds from the university. You would have to speak to the dean, and the dean is currently indisposed. He is not in Soria at the moment.
How'd I get kicked out?
Well, I'm sure my compatriots and I are going to want to speak to him, because for something this dangerous and something that they've already almost died for, I'm sure they're not going to be willing to go in there without having a little bit deeper than just 1,000 gold apiece.
The other challenge is that if this is the phlogiston, you would need a vessel and you would not only that, you would need a vessel that is spacefaring. You would need a vessel with a spelljammer helm, simply to survive.
Don't you worry about that. That I can handle.
Does your vessel have a spelljammer helm?
See, that's the thing. I'm a part of a very, very wonderful group that can make that happen.
Well, any vessel with a spelljammer helm is capable of space travel.
Let's just say this. I'm a part of the Dark Suns. All I have to do is go see our Spelljammer squadrons and make sure this happens if we are to go in. But if we go in, understand that may be something that I would have to talk to the Brotherhood and figure out if they're even willing to pursue this.
You get your approval. You get your vehicle outfitted with a spelljammer helm, and you get powerful enough to defeat these creatures. Then by all means, you will find your reward is quite handsome. I do not wish to promise you a certain value at this moment, because I simply cannot. But I can assure you there will be no issue coming to an agreement that will suit you, that you will find beneficial. If you believe that you are equipped to go on a spacefaring journey through the Phlogiston, where ancient, eldritch horrors exist, in addition to that, you have to keep an eye out for if creatures that die in the Phlogiston, they don't exactly pass. So there is quite an undead presence in the Phlogiston as well, as it's cut off from the outer planes. They cannot go to their heaven or their hell.
I'm going to pull out a piece of paper, write down a couple things, fold it up. Don't read this, but send it, and I'm going to write a location to this location. And I'm going to have him send it to my the fucking what's her name? What's her face? The leader of my portion of the Dark Suns.
Oh, well, the leader of the Dark Suns currently is...
Can't remember her name right now because my brain's fried.
I can get her name for you in about 10 seconds. The current leader of the Dark Suns is Commander Megumi Anzai.
Send it to them. Deliver this letter out, and I will get word back.
Indeed, I will do as you requested. It's a shame that you couldn't have been involved in the initial expedition. But if your other allies are any indication of your capabilities, I certainly look forward to working with you in the future.
As I go, of course, as I walk out, I'm gonna snap, and my weapon's gonna appear on my back as I just walk out the door, trying to kind of show off the power that I do have.
Well, might I recommend that if you do undertake this position, you don't repeat that trick. I find you'll be unable to recover your weapon if you are present within that space, as well as you'll have the power that you enter with, but you'll find it quite hard to recover that power. So keep that in mind. The Phlogiston, I can tell you, are clearly some sort of warlock. They cannot reach you there.
have more than just one skill.
I would certainly hope so.
And I'm gonna walk out the door and go find the rest of the crew.
Okay. And you do, as they are settling things with Shirley, as they are about to... Shirley, you can't be serious. Anyway, as they are about to settle up and figure out how much of this hoard they are going to sell and how much they are going to keep.
I kind of look at Anon, give him a wink, and give him a note.
Anand, do you receive are you trying to stealthily hand it to Anand?
Yes, stealthily hand it to
Give me a sleight of hand check.
Do I need to do a sleight of receiving check?
No, because you can very easily just put it in your pocket and like bump your leg or something, so you know. But
Right.
Hold on, I'm connecting to server because apparently Fantasy Beyond wants to kick me out once again.
Yeah. Hey, did you see the message I put?
yes, you
in
need
the
to
chat?
add some spells to your spell book.
Yes.
Yeah. You don't quite have the money for that yet, but you're definitely about to. So.
Alright, so Gavin,
received
in
my
my
1,000.
inventory,
Well,
inventory,
yeah.
all the items that have a 1 for location at the top, those are all the ones we're selling. It's 5,300 for those. Now, the regular stuff like amber, amethyst, onyx, diamonds, emeralds, jades, pearls, I want to keep all those just in case somebody has some spell components or we need to break them down and do some enchanting, because I know some people are trying to get into enchanting, some people are trying to get into potion
Oh, you
making.
thought of me. Thank
Right.
you.
So I can tell you the
And I
total
need some-
value of the hoard, but this is only if you sell everything. If you're not selling everything, I'll have to itemize it.
I already did it. It's in my inventory.
So literally
It's in my
only the
inventory.
stuff with a 1. That's all you're selling.
Yep.
So you're
The,
keeping everything else?
Uh,
That's a lot of gemstones to just hold on to.
Unless you think that there is absolutely no way possible that we'll use a black sapphire, because I think that's pretty fucking rare, and it's only worth 500 gold pieces.
I can't tell you whether or not you'll use it. What I can tell you...
Where's our dwarf?
I know. What I can tell you is she offers... I can tell you what her offer would be for the entirety of the Dragon Horde. If you were to sell her everything, you are getting 29,635 gold pieces. If you're not selling her everything, then I can itemize how much you would get. But basically what you're getting is the minimum value for each of these gems, because they have to be able to sell it for a profit.
I really don't want to do that. It's a group thing. I really don't want to, because I know that there's a lot of spells that require certain gemstones to be turned into dust. So what does everybody think? This is a group thing.
I mean, do we just absolutely need the money right now? Because if not, then we can just sell it later.
I don't need the money right now.
I agree. I mean, if we're really in a pinch, we can just sell them.
We literally just spent a lot of money on just to resupply ourselves, and then we just got 1,000 gold. And if I split it like how Nick was saying, we could actually split it where it's 2,500 to the group fund, and everybody gets 400 7 ways. So we can get possibly 1,400.
I'm fine with that. I'm not desperately hurting for money right now, so I'd rather just keep the gems if we think there might be potential uses for them later, or it could be even later on that we just trade them out for gear.
So, what you would know is, like, see, the Crystal Dragon Mask has a value of 2,500 gold pieces. That's what a collector would pay to purchase it. Typically, when it comes to the jewel trade, if you're trying to sell, they're going to give you half of that, because, of course, they have to make a profit. So, what you would get for selling the Crystal Dragon Mask would be 1,250, because they have to sell it for 2,500. Now, if you want to debate your way around that, and make a case to get more, that of course, up to you.
Yes, I will. Don't worry, guys.
Oh yeah, you rolled
I got
a 24. What was the note?
Oh yeah, she didn't notice shit. You handed the note completely. She didn't see you hand it over.
Okay, give me a description of this room.
You're not actually in the room. You're sort of at the entrance of the room. From what you can see through the small opening in the doorway, is that it appears to just be filled with different artifacts. You'll notice from what you can see it from this angle, there's like a vase that is clearly old on the other side of the room. You notice some gemstones, you notice some tablets, you notice you notice the occasional piece of weaponry. It's all appears to be things of historical importance, as well as there appears to be a safe of the type that would be typical for a bank, where they would store large amounts of just pure currency, usually gold or platinum, because that's sort of the money of the world. Silver and copper is way too bulky to be dealing in that, so you would imagine the safe would be full of either gold or platinum.
Can I read the note?
Yeah, what does the note
yeah.
say?
The note reads, wait, okay. So the note reads distract her, but so there's no way into the room that we can get into? Is it like...
There's the
the
door behind her. I'm telling you, if you're gonna sneak in there with her looking right at you, that's gonna take a stealth roll of epic proportions. If you want to try, then you can.
Anon's like, I don't know. He's gonna slide over and be like, so, now that business is concluded. And he's gonna get like uncomfortably close. So she can smell his bold musk.
Neston is just gonna pop up. Business is not concluded. We have more jewels that we need to sell. I have this jeweled crown.
I have a couple of jewels that might need
That need to be emptied.
Yes. Couple of nutsacks.
Look at this crystallized dragon mask. It is definitely worth some type of sum of money.
Of course. Why am I lagging? Is somebody logging in right now? Oh, there we go. Okay. For that crystal dragon mask, I can give you $12.50.
I was thinking 2,500 gold.
Well, then we would make no profit.
Look, the professor told us that whatever we found from the Horde, we could bring down here and trade it with you. So it's either we sell it to you at the price that we want to sell it to, or we just kind of say...
I'm just going to put it out there. Why are you trying to sell it? You guys want to appreciate historical items, right? We just gathered all these from ruins at a historical site. Why would you just sell them back? You need to be paying the full value because that's what it's worth for historical value.
Yes, and the professor said that whatever he would prefer the Horde to be sold here before we go somewhere else.
Isn't the knowledge worth so much more than the money? Come on. Surely you understand that better than anyone. You're clearly the most intelligent person here.
Adnan, I would prefer if you kept your spike in your arm, sir.
I'll put my spike in your arm if you don't stop blocking the chicken.
Okay, alright, Lucas, give me a persuasion check with advantage because you had help from Neston.
I was helping as well, sir.
What is Lucas's perception check? If it's lower than persuasion, if it's lower than +4, I'm gonna be upset.
Ooh.
I thought you were proficient in persuasion. Oh no, I was looking at the wrong one. Lucas is. Yeah.
Yes.
20.
She says, "Look, this is a new post for me. I'm just simply trying to make sure that
I've got
my
a new
superiors
post for you
are."
as well.
Oh my god, dude. It's starting to hurt.
I'm trying to make sure my superiors are happy with my work. But I assume I would be praised for collecting these artifacts. So sure, we do not plan on selling them anyway. They're gonna remain right here for study. So for that crystal dragon mask, I'll give you 2,500.
Awesome. Can we just go ahead and say that roll applies to everything else, or do you want us to really make?
No, we'll say it applies to everything that you're selling. So the bejeweled crown is 2,500. Have you already done the math, Tony?
Yeah,
for
I have.
What all this is worth?
5,300 for these items.
Okay. I will pay you 5,300 for the items that you wish to trade in.
That is the exact number I was thinking.
Well, I was trained in the value of historical items, so
I actually have a calculator.
I'm quite old. Do you know my value?
give me another general charisma check.
We're gonna make a Constitution saving throw to see if I vomit.
Anybody who believes that they would be nauseated, sure, give me a Constitution saving throw.
Okay.
Anand, give me a charisma check to measure the force of your personality.
No!
It was almost an 18, and then just.
Can you reroll?
Oh, it was so close.
Do you have a chronal shift left?
I have one left.
Dude, come on, bro.
Oh. No!
Oh, no. You kidding me? Oh my
Law is
Jesus.
disappointed in you, Anon.
It's the spittle drips from his mouth while he's attempting to be smooth.
Alright, so I'm
You
just gonna
do
go
this,
ahead
you
and-
realize you didn't put on deodorant this morning. You've got a heavy amount of BO from that fight. She looks at you. Anyway, is our business here concluded?
20.
And so I obnoxiously, while looking at Bon, walk up,
5, 3, 30.
grab her by the hand, just spin in the opposite direction, be like, look.
Oh, wait, she guessing me? Oh, baby.
Bro, I
Is this
just
happening?
gave you an opening. You better take it.
All right. I'm taking
Look.
it.
Join
Is
me
he-
for dinner.
Is he going for that door, Gavin?
Whoa.
Oh.
Spin her, and she uncomfortably says, I actually have evening plans. You can't go in there! As she looks at you, Bon.
Oh.
I was sorry. I was just curious. I was just looking at one of the artifacts. I might know what it is.
What
No
a nice,
touching. You cannot enter. I'm sorry. You must be part of the university to enter the room.
Understood. I'm
in a
sorry.
last-ditch effort to save face, I'd be like, a nice guy like you deserves a nice lunch, and I'll put a gold piece in her hand.
Give me a charisma check with disadvantage.
This is terrible.
You're just gonna pay her off at this point?
Yeah, I'm gonna follow Lucas's lead.
7. Oh.
That's an 8.
I got the money.
Once we got paid, I'm like,
Yeah.
this is hard to watch.
I'm out.
We're gone.
I'm out.
You know,
I'm
Lucas, I
out.
think the more while they're down there trying to commit and perform adultery and other sins, we should just start taking some of their funds away. Like, we should find them. We are not just anybody. We are Motley Crest. We are
Ew.
a hardened group of adventurers.
I vomit out of my spikes. Motley
my gosh.
Crest.
Anyways,
Alright,
So
so
I
real quick, everybody. If you already added 1,000 to your character page, go ahead and bump that up to 1,400. If you
That was
haven't
it?
it's 1,400 for this whole job.
Okay.
Considering being split 7 ways and the money you got from the horde.
Yeah, Brandon gets 400. He doesn't, unless y'all wanted to divvy up that 6,000 7 ways.
nah.
So.
So.
I'll just put the 400 in the group loot.
Well, I got the group loot when you left.
Well, no,
And-
I'm saying when you split the money, I'll just put my 400 towards group loot.
Okay, so group loot is now 5730.
Why don't I have spells in my book yet?
That's your fault.
Because you've eaten up all the time trying to seduce people.
Yeah,
You need the spells, and you wanted the seduction. Don't argue.
It's part of my process, guys.
Okay.
So, alright, so group hold on. Group bag
Oh,
and
sorry.
holding has 5,730 gold pieces. And
Is this after divvying it up 8 ways?
Yes, 7 ways. Oh yeah.
Oh,
8
well, the
ways.
group bag would be, if you're
Well,
counting for
no,
that,
we-
that would be 8 ways.
It was basically halved, and then the one half was divvied up. Where it was like one half was I think 28 and then 25.
Alright, well, I
So,
trust you. I'm not good. I have nothing
I
to
really
contest
hope
with.
you're doing the math right. I'm going
I
to
am.
take your word for it.
Alright.
I am. I've been doing
Let's
the
go!
map for like the past half an
I
hour.
want to go do stuff.
Receiveth his wordeth.
I
Yeah,
will
and
say
all
the stopping point I wanted to get to is you guys getting to Azores tonight, the next town.
Well, we're 2.5 hours in, and all we've managed to do is come back and finally get paid. That we're
Yeah.
well behind schedule.
Yeah. And we have a chocobo to take care of too.
Yeah.
You have to pick that up from the stables outside of the Heroes Guild. Hey guys, you want to go ahead and take like a quick 2-minute? This class is full.
Body.
I do.
Okay. Fine. I'll
Okay, and I
grab.
will mention
a
I still
snack.
I still have some unfinished business with the thing. I just a quick thing and that's it, and we're gone.
What you got?
Oh, I wanted to ask if he had anybody that was interested on joining us. Any like you know what I was saying? Like remember I asked that and he said you would have to ask around.
Oh, what? You want to see if you can pick up another straggler?
Yeah.
No.
Somebody who's
unfortunately,
interested in traveling.
all of our researchers are we all have some sort of project we must attend to.
Understood.
Back down. Don't even.
Hey, I was granted.
Your ship
captain
is only
for a
so
while.
big, guys.
You are no longer captain anymore.
I was, but this was back when I had captainship. So get out of here.
All right, be back in 2 minutes.
All right.
That's the longest you've accomplished a task. One moment.
You are no longer a captain anymore, Nick. I took that from you. How do you feel? Do you feel betrayed?
No, I knew it was happening. Technically, I only got part time.
Well, I gotta go deal with something.
I'm gonna go get some.
Everybody left. So how are y'all doing?
Oh, so I didn't know it was time. I took my headphones off.
Said how are y'all doing?
Good. How you doing, my man?
I'm doing all right.
Nice.
Kelly looks like she's about to pass out.
Yeah. Well,
Pretty
especially
late.
getting all that, like, you want to ride my post, like, yeah, that got like had her check out pretty quick. So, so dumb. Yeah.
So I got to thinking. All right, so tell me about this plan. All right, I'm thinking we go back to the Heroes Guild and we try to see if we can pick up a external contract for us to go back to King's Crest or something like that.
Okay.
And then we don't go. You follow me?
That's not terrible. So here's the thing that I don't know if we've actually made use out of or not. Bon has underground connection with its rogueness, and we found out that
Jess.
yeah, Flora is a part of the Grinners.
Yeah.
So we
I
can
don't know what the Grinners
officially go with that while we do an underground job with one of their organizations.
Yeah, Gavin hasn't told me anything about the Grinners. Like, I know so much about all these different organizations since we were in the first campaign, but with the Grinners, he hasn't told me nothing.
It's in the guide. There's like a paragraph. That's all I know.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I pull this thing out only, like, when we play D&D.
Same.
And only when it gets mentioned. Like, when Gavin's like, on page 78, I'm like, oh, shit. So Grinners, that would be in organizations, major organizations, page 128. This is pretty impressive. I told Gavin, like, this is pretty impressive. Like, I know some people that go all out for their books, but Gavin did a pretty good job for this. The Reclaimers, Heroes Guild, the Grinners, pseudo-political organization of entertainers who advocate for personal liberty and are so fucking hippies. They're just hippies.
Yeah, they're barred freedom fighters that hate tyranny. I don't
Johnny, how do you make your cornbread?
How do I make my cornbread? I don't know. It depends on if I'm lazy or not that day. If I'm not lazy, I make it from scratch and I throw stuff in a bowl like my mama taught me. If I'm lazy, I just grab that's if I'm not feeling lazy. If I'm feeling lazy, I just grab a box and pour it into a bowl.
Will you do the scratch one for me, please?
I guess I could, but I can't make as much because it's one cast iron pan per. I only know how to make it for one cast iron pan.
I'll be selfish and.
Did you like the one that was at the wedding? Because that was box.
I don't think I ate any of the cornbread at the wedding.
Oh, okay.
I was focused more on the pork.
I was just gonna do a box like the GIF, and then Fayen likes real corn in her cornbread, so she asked if I could do that. I was just gonna do it.
We'll
like
eat it either way.
I was just gonna get a couple boxes and just make enough to make like a big sheet pan, and people could just eat what they want. Like super stoked.
All right, guys. Sorry, I was just lighting another incense.
Yeah, it's fine.
Why?
So
because I like the smell of incense.
So what was the other thing? What was it, Sean? The thing that Bon is a part of? It's like
Bon's just a part of underground organizations because he's a rogue.
Is that just like his background? Like
yeah,
the criminal contact feature.
Yeah.
Okay.
So between him and Flora, we
could probably use one of them. We can use Flora's hippie cult to spread rumors.
The Renners.
Yeah, I'm reading your paragraph right here, and they're just a bunch of fucking hippies. The Freedom Fighter, a group of pseudo-politician organization of entertainers who advocate for personal liberties.
They do just a bunch of challenges on TikTok to try and make political changes.
Yes.
They just dance in city streets.
Gavin.
What's up?
Sunday is a everybody bring a dish bonfire.
Ooh,
yeah,
okay. Who likes broccoli rice casserole?
Fayan.
Okay.
That's probably her and you.
Tony's bringing pot roast with cornbread.
Yeah, I might make a pumpkin pie.
Hey, Sean, are you in Kelly? I know you like to have notice. So you got 6 days notice. Can you possibly do something to make it on Sunday? Oh, you're busy?
Dad's birthday party.
Okay. Damn.
I'll cry. Don't worry.
Yeah, quit asking him to do stuff. He's a busy father. He's got a life.
Indeed.
And he's got a black box. You know, those black boxes, I will never buy another one again because you can't tell how much is in the box left. And that will mess you up.
It can be very disappointing when you're like, oh yeah, I'll just have... Oh, no, it's like empty.
Yeah, but when you drink the entire box, and then you're like, did I really just do that? And then you're like fucked up for the rest of the night. You're like, oh, I'm just going to have one glass. And you just like, oh yeah, there's more in here. There's more in here.
So, update, since we're still waiting on Brandon and Nick. Apparently the owner of that vehicle didn't learn their lesson. It's not in front of my mailbox anymore. It's now in front of my neighbor's mailbox. If you still lived there, Marte, it would be an issue for you now. So they literally just moved it from one mailbox to in front of another mailbox.
I thought
the tow truck picked it up.
They picked it up, moved it like 10 feet, and left it.
Wow.
How does that work?
Don't know. It's not my problem anymore, but now it's my neighbor's problem.
Your mailman is going to be so confused.
I mean, they've been delivering my mail for 3 years. They should know that's not my car. So,
I'm back.
All right.
You know,
You never know. You could have got a new one.
Yeah.
It'll be 3 years in May. So,
Right,
yeah.
So
Dang, dude.
here's the plan. We go back to the Heroes Guild. Either Bon or Flora uses their contacts, their network, to pick up a contract or spread rumors that we're going back to King's Crest or something like that. Some like big major city, not on the same continent as us. and then we just keep going about our day, not telling anyone else where we're going.
What are they talking about?
So that way you don't get tracked or followed.
Right. Yep. I forget what page is it in the DMG that we got to make rolls for this for downtime activities for spreading rumors. It's actually I think it's.
I don't know, Tony. If you'll go ahead and remove all the things that you sold from your inventory, please.
Yes. Can I select multiple, or is it just?
Just press the little yellow thing at the bottom right corner, so that way you can just double click the little. Yeah, you got it.
Okay.
In their private session, Anand is going to be like, Lucas, I was really trying to get that date.
I know, man. I was rooting for you. Her loss.
She was
Her
a
loss.
beautiful Saurian woman.
I'm out of practice. Maybe the spikes were a bit too much.
If she can't handle your spikes, she can't handle you.
Yes.
Yes.
Technically,
What's up?
3.
3 spikes. and they both end up protruding and elongating,
Yes,
depending
they
on
do.
whether you need them.
So, Bond, did you enjoy your 24 hours of greatness?
Here we go. Gavin, so in the DMG for sowing rumors, it says a character must spend 1 gold per day to cover the cost of drinks and social appearances and the like. At the end of the time spent sowing the rumor, the character must make a DC 15 Charisma, Deception, Persuasion check. If the check succeeds, the community prevailing attitude towards the subject shifts 1 step towards friendly or hostile as the character's wishes. If it fails, no transactions. So can we sow rumors?
Absolutely. So
Yeah, can we have Bon or Flora sow rumors with their backgrounds?
I say we both do it.
I'm fucking good at my background. I'm feared wherever I go, so I'm free.
Well,
I can
well,
just start
your
talking
background gives you infamy. You have the pirate background.
I mean, I can scare the living shit out of people.
well, yeah, but we don't.
Shit.
That's not what we want. We want people to be like, oh yeah, they're going over there. Oh yeah, I heard that the saviors of King's Crest are going back to King's Crest for a reward. They're being given the keys to the city. You know, like something crazy. Like there's gonna be like, you know, just rumors.
I want to
that's what
include
we
in the rumor that Neston is scared of girls.
That's completely untrue.
All
He
right.
seemed afraid of the lady.
He's afraid of fanged dragons and Vold
And coitus.
and coitus and combat and people yelling at him
And loud noises.
and large animals
And fireworks.
and
Who's got a lot?
All right. So there's still a
And
good
people
bit
that
I
wear
want to knock
socks and
out within the
sandals.
next hour and a half. So, that calls for what, a charisma, deception, or persuasion check?
correct.
All right.
The DMG says DC 15, but that's up to you. Plus, it also says like how long it takes to spread in cities, like 66 days in cities, 2d6 days in villages. And it
So
takes, like,
I will
long.
say the city of Soria, as far as a criminal underground, it doesn't really have a strong one. Of course, every city has something, but I mean, this is a city that's dominated by a university, and a respected one at that. This is like the Harvard of this world, basically. Which one is that, Marte?
Oh, Gavin.
Only one that's alive, Gavin.
I know, I'm forgetting his name though.
Cheekies.
That's right. I didn't want to guess Cheekies, but that'd be the one that's no longer with us. So,
Gavin, real quick.
Yes.
Wasn't there an orc that was a part of the criminal organization that
Galder.
Vaughn and
yeah,
Raven met, right?
there was.
Galder.
He's still a part of the organization, right?
Yes.
I'm gonna send him a message.
Yeah, he's a half orc.
Yeah.
I want to send him a message with sending.
He runs the underground market. Well, he's in Gloomwood Rest.
Glimwood Rest?
But
I don't
Glimword Rest. But yes, you can send him a message, absolutely.
Where's Glimwood Rest?
Glimword Rest.
Yeah,
And
that's
that
what I
is
said.
on page...
That's in Alarath, right?
No, that is in Falfanzia.
We're in Falfanzia.
Exactly.
So that's the previous city that we were just at.
Yes, Glimward Rest is on page 103.
Okay. Alright. And can I send money by mail to somebody? Like, is there a courier service?
Yeah, there's a courier service.
Okay.
I have the speedy courier if you want to use mine.
You want to send Galder a message with Galder's speedy courier?
Isn't that cool?
No relation, but
Yeah, so I don't wanna go like use character voice or whatever, but this is like an actual conversation I wanna have with you guys as characters. Not just people.
Okay.
Can we use the speedy courier? Do you have the materials to use that? Or will so we can send it post office?
The materials are just money. Oh, well. I don't know if Lucas knows that.
it's pretty cheap to send things. It's typically about a gold piece per city away. So to send it there, to send a message, it would be like 5 gold to send a
It
courier.
says Galders.
Yeah.
The courier's 25 gold pieces or mineral goods of equivalent value. So one of your gemstones possibly could.
All the gemstones are worth like hundreds of gold.
25 gold, I don't think is a big deal for something to get an instant
then we can
response on.
yeah, it's just 25 gold. We can do it. Before
I would
I rest
send the
up.
message first to get his permission, and then we send him the money. Because I don't think trusting him to send him the money first is a good idea.
Well, yeah. I don't know if I know Galahad or not. I know from campaign 1.
Okay. So he was the contact though, right?
He
For
was,
the
yes.
underground? Okay.
Yes.
I'm gonna send him a message. And
Okay.
I'm going to say Galder is Neston. Friend of Bon and Raven. We need assistance. Spread word that the site list changed name to Motley Crest. Heading back for award ceremony in King's Crest. Immediately. We'll send
He was
gold.
actually tied into Flora's group. That was the one name he didn't drop.
Yeah, but Bon and Raven threatened his life, so and they got into a dispute about it, so I figured he would remember that. Neston has an intelligence of 8. Leave me alone. Okay.
I can tell you that you don't get a message back. So whatever the message was sent, you know it got to where it was supposed to go and has been taken.
Well, no, that's Galder's Speedy Courier that nothing returns. With message, he gets to say 25 words back to Neston.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought this was Galder's Speedy Courier. Okay,
No,
and
this
he
is
gets to reply.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yes.
25 words.
You mean the one who threatened to expose us? Got it. Thumbs up.
I said I can pay you I'm gonna send it. He's being difficult, guys. Give me 1 second, please. How much gold do you want in order to do this? And I promise Raven
9,000.
What?
I didn't finish.
9,001.
And I promise we can keep Raven on a leash.
8,999. No, I'm just kidding. It doesn't say that. He says, I can spread this word for you. However, you'll owe me a favor. And I think that's almost 25 words.
Oh my god, I only have a 4th level spell slot left. This is a 3rd level spell. Guys,
Donnie.
you aren't going to like this. Good news and bad news.
What?
You want the good news or the bad news first?
Bad news first.
Bad news is that he's doing it for free.
Neston, I don't think this guy does anything for free.
He said all we have to do is owe him a small favor. That's the good
Yeah,
news.
that's
Look,
the.
I
Yep.
am a professional gardener. Did you see the plants inside of his shop? They definitely need some work. That's the good news.
Yeah, I don't think
All we
that's the
have to
kind of
do-
favor he's gonna ask
All,
for.
all we have to do is,
Fine.
it's okay.
I mean, I'm okay with it, but I'm saying
You're
everything
just
he
afraid to get
does
your
for
hands
us is
dirty
gonna come
in
for
the
a
soil.
price.
It's fine. It's fine.
We're gonna die.
We'll be
Right.
fine.
You don't make deals. Not
But-
like that.
I already did.
Okay, well.
Guess we're fucked.
Well,
It's free. It didn't cost us anything. That would have cost us like.
No, it costs us a
25.
favor.
As you see a maniacal twinkle in the DM's eye.
if
It's
if
fine.
this doesn't work out, I'm gonna use the Speedy Courier to send him your testicles.
The ones he doesn't
This won't
have.
go badly for you guys
Aha.
at all. This is a good deal. This is a good deal. Won't go bad at all. No. This is good. This is good.
You mean the
Great.
one that his mom already has in her purse?
Ugh, that's terrible.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Oh, all right. So look.
Well, at least we're somewhat off the radar for now.
This
And
is
now
why
we
your
can
mother
go-
doesn't love you. This
and
is
then-
exactly why your mother doesn't love you, Nelson.
No, he loves me dearly. I'll cast sending
Right.
again.
Not what she said.
I want to cast sending again.
Okay.
Mom, do you love me?
Please, Gavin, do it. Just do it right.
You get a response back that, and it's just one word. Enough.
Ooh.
does love me.
Okay. All right. We're on our way now.
All right, that's my 4th level spell slot. All I have is like one level spell and
Did you
two
just
one
blow
level spells.
all those spells on
I have 2
meaningless
first and 2
conversation?
seconds. 2 first and 2 seconds. It's not my fault.
Wow.
It's the DM's.
I'm ready to go back to the Heroes Guild.
All right.
They did say they were going to try and restock by the time we got back.
And they did restock, as in the DM actually put the shop together.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we can actually buy things.
Yeah. So
Do it. Ooh.
you walk back in. Same Saurian male waiting there.
Aw.
Why, hello.
Guildmaster, it is so good to see you. I would like to tell you thank you so much. It was so peaceful and so quiet. I'm so glad we did not get blown up in this establishment. It would be dreadful to have 2 guild halls blown up in the same week. Can you believe that? The odds.
Yes, I can't believe it. Absolutely dreadful. Can I help you? We've actually restocked
Well,
our
Yes.
shop. Let me get the music.
We actually need to
This
stay.
clip only
Those
plays
jams. So bad. He's fiending for jams.
We actually need to stay one more night, and we need to restock on some supplies. One more night, and then we'll be out of your hair. Hopefully, we don't blow up again tonight.
Neston, I
that
don't
would be
think
3 for
staying
3.
twice in 2 nights in a row is very good.
It's also
I think we should
only
keep
like
going.
early afternoon.
We
So
also just spent the entire day getting fucked up.
We can do a small rest in the car.
you can get a short rest in the car. That is true.
Hey, I would like to see your wares.
Could you
Why,
post the
of
link so I
course.
can browse? Oh. Parcel Soria's Heroes Guild. Alright. Ooh,
Hey, does
anti-scrying
anybody-
amulet.
Their share size. No?
Oh, no, that's not good for my skin.
Oh, whatever. It's good for your soul.
Right. Helm of Comprehending Languages. Lantern of Revealing. Metamonocle Eye of Minute Seeing. But I don't want to see minutely. I want a broad spectrum of vision.
The influence for this shop was steampunk and anything that has to do with knowledge. So
Clearly.
Hey, Gavin. It says while wearing them, you can see much better than normal out to a range of 1 foot.
while wearing what?
The eyes of minute seeing.
Oh yes.
You can
So
read a book better. These are reading glasses. That's what these
you
are.
have advantage on intelligence investigation checks that rely on sight. That's why it's 1 foot because it is closely investigating things.
Mm.
I want all the scrolls.
Do you want all of them?
There's no way I could afford all of them. I tell the group, guys, any scrolls you can get me, I can have permanent uses for this spell. Help me.
Hey,
Help
question.
you.
By the way, Tony, I actually included a scroll for a spell that Valastrios invented in this. There is a scroll of phase that is available at this store.
Would the Ocarina of Minor Chronomancy help me at all?
The Ocarina of Time, the Ocarina of Minor Chronomancy. Yeah, I think so. I like it.
It's a bard item. It can only go for bards.
So I'm definitely gonna pick it up.
Are you asking about it?
Yeah, how much is that damn thing?
1,000 gold pieces.
Okay, I only have 3,500. Oh no.
Would you like to purchase it?
Yes.
Okay.
Why, of course. There it is, if you want to drag it into your inventory.
I would like the metal monocle of minute seeing.
Why, of course, that will cost you 200 gold pieces.
And also the truth serum.
The truth serum? What, you have somebody you need to interrogate?
Could I sell my plate
Do you really
Ocarina
want to
you?
know?
Not my job to know. Of course, the truth serum, that'll cost you 150 gold pieces.
So 350 total. Done and done.
And I'm sorry, what were you asking, Kit?
If I could sell some of my shit.
You can always sell things for half of their value, but yes.
Okay, because I was gonna sell my plate Ocarina.
And I purchase the Scroll of Legend Lore.
So the plain ocarina, you can sell that for 35 gold pieces if you'll add that to your inventory and delete the ocarina. The Scroll of Legend Lore, yes, that'll run you 833 gold pieces. Quite a fine piece.
Dadgummit.
How much is your amulet of proof against detection and location?
That will run you, and I have 4 of these. That'll run you 200 gold pieces per amulet.
Yeah, I'll take the Scroll of Legend Lore.
Alright, again, it is you guys' responsibility to be adding these things to your inventory.
Does anybody else feel like they need
You
a
said it's
amulet?
800 and what?
833.
Okay.
Does anybody else feel like they need an amulet of proof against detection and location?
Sounds like a good idea.
You know, it
I'll
would.
take
I have
Four of them.
4 of them. You'll take all 4.
All 4, plus I want the eyes of the eagle.
So for 4 amulets of proof against detection and location and the eyes of the eagle, that's 1,000 gold pieces for the bulk.
How much? I get 900 for the bulk. Come on, you gotta give me a little bit of discount. I am buying all 4 of them.
Hey,
Not
Tyler, you
Make
gonna let them
a
Can
persuasion
you let the
check.
dogs out for me? Please?
DC 12.
And I'm gonna give him bardic inspiration on that.
Okay, if you want to use one of your uses.
So I also get to roll what, a D8 to that?
Yes, and why does the music keep stopping?
Well, I don't think I think with a 24 I don't need that.
Tell you what, I'll send it to you for 850 for the bulk.
Wonderful, sounds good. I'll hand him 850.
All right.
Question. Is there anything such as a dart gun that I can...
Unfortunately, I don't have anything like that, and there's no firearms
It's
dealers in this.
More of a DM question.
Those, as far as those things existing, yeah, they exist, but
Okay.
you would imagine probably don't have anything at the store like that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
alright.
dart
I
guns. Yeah, people fill them with poisons and different drugs. Yeah, sure.
get something. I don't. It's just something that might come useful. And they do make them in rifles, or is it like old fashioned where you gotta blow into them?
Well, there's blow darts, absolutely, and you can get those from any general goods dealer.
Yeah.
But they also, yeah, they make them in rifle or like a handheld.
I'm thinking like
variety.
the cool syringe dart bullets that go.
Like Aaron had in his arm.
So you can trank people? I gotcha.
Yeah.
Like
Trank
Aaron Aaron had
Say
his
it.
arm.
Yeah, say where I needed to use that truth serum, and it had to be on
so
like a range.
every potion or every poison has a means by which it's effective, and not all of them are effective when injected. Some require ingestion, and the truth serum is one of those poisons.
Oh, ingestion. Okay. Well,
It usually tells you which route the poison works through, or the drug works through.
Okay.
And in this instance, it's ingestion.
I would also like to get the scroll of contact other plane.
Scroll of contact of the plane. Interesting. Yes, that is 1,100 gold pieces for that one.
Oh no, I don't have that.
Would you like me to buy it for you, Sean? Or Lucas?
I mean, we could always use it on the group loot and give it to.
You said scroll of what?
Contact other plane.
Yeah, I wanted that one too, but I can't buy anything else.
We could always use the group loot to get it so that way Anon can be able to cast it forever.
Yeah, because I want Arcane Eye, but I'm pretty sure it says it's 1,300. Is that true?
Yes.
How is Arcane Eye more than Legend Lore?
I'm just going by the book on this one.
Because Gavin doesn't want anybody to have Arcane Eye again.
Clearly.
Oh, dude,
I wouldn't have put it in the store if I didn't want you guys to have it.
How much for the Helm of Comprehending Languages?
The Helm of Comprehending Languages, that will cost 200 gold pieces.
You buy the scroll of Comprehend Languages, we won't need the helm.
Or to have someone that has comprehend languages.
I don't understand what have you all talk when you start talking other languages, and I'm already timid enough, so I'm paranoid with what you guys are talking about.
I mean, that's fair.
They're probably talking about you.
Oh.
You would imagine.
I just start talking random gibberish to Vaughn Draconic.
Nand also speaks the Draconic.
I'm just gonna make my way out.
So, by the way, I do have
But they might talk about you while you're gone.
There's a good chance.
I do have 4 amulets of proof against detection and location, so I don't know who's gonna get the other 3, but I do have that.
Swagger. Can I add some stuff to my spell book?
You absolutely can on a short rest.
Before we do,
And I would say you could take it now.
Before
Yay.
we do all that, where people are diving into their personal things,
Sorry,
let's
shit.
take this shop thing one at a time.
Okay, it says update available.
Yeah, let's do a methodical process so we can get through this shop. Because trust me, if you guys make it to the next town, it will be worth your while.
All right, so Sean, let's start with you. What do you want from the shop?
I already got 2 of the things. The only other one I was looking at. I would like.
Why are you guys getting disconnected?
I'm
Sorry.
not disconnected. The only other thing that I'll go ahead and pick up is the Lantern of Revealing.
Okay. Make sure that you're not disconnected, because it just told me that you guys got disconnected.
I'm still good.
Yeah, we're here.
You're gonna land to the right.
Okay. Well, did you just see me post the link for the Lantern of Revealing?
I just got
I
disconnected.
got disconnected.
Oh, damn it. I don't know why that's happening.
Hello, hello.
It's all right.
Hi, Lex.
Like, as soon as I went to go move the freaking Eagle Eye, it disconnected.
Okay.
So how much does the Lantern of Revealing cost?
200 gold.
Yeah. Done and done. Whenever it's done. That's all I wanted. I already got the rest of the stuff that I wanted.
So, here's what I'm going to do, so we can move on. Whatever it is you're buying, I'll just take it on good faith. When everybody's loaded back in, I will link the Soria Heroes Guild again. I'm trusting you guys to remove the appropriate amount of money and to add the appropriate items to your inventory. So, taking it on good faith.
Yeah, I'm not buying anything. So I say let's get going. Let's get that short list going in the car, and we'll just go while the server's down. Oh, and we pick up honey and we do all that. Yep, that's something
Yeah.
we gotta do.
So, Raven, this is your first time. You notice
Hey,
this
Gavin.
large. What's up?
I want to grab the saddle.
The saddle.
Yeah, I
There's a
want the
saddle in here.
I'm gonna ride Honey.
You're gonna ride Honey.
Yep, I'm getting the saddle, and I'm gonna ride Honey.
Saddle of the Cavalier. That's
Yep.
200 gold.
Yep, I'm gonna get it. Now I'm gonna ride Honey.
Okay, so Raven, you see this teal blue glimmerfowl, which, let's be honest, they basically look like chocobos, but a little taller and a little slimmer. And it's completely teal, which is rare for solid colors. They usually have sort of a rainbow feather pattern. And you walk over to it, and it's just... As you get it out of the stable, it jumps
When you
with
make
excitement
that
as you
noise,
see it.
Your mic
Do what?
dies. When you make that noise, your mic doesn't even pick it up.
I'll do it I'll do it a little quieter. Do you hear that at all?
Yeah, that
Okay.
was it.
As it like hops in the air and like flaps its stubby little wings and hovers in the air for a second before it lands.
Yeah, I'm just sticking to my motorcycle.
Gross.
Your motorcycle is actually you could have collected your motorcycle if you would have liked to, because you went to
Yeah.
the ship.
Yeah, I have my motorcycle.
Okay,
That's happening.
gotcha.
The heck?
So you throw this saddle on Honey's back and looks at the saddle curiously, turns its neck, like its head turns around completely, and it just like pecks at the saddle. Takes a little bite out of it, chews it, spits out the little chunk of leather, little scrap of leather,
Yeah,
and then just goes back to.
I mount it best way I can.
She
That's what she
does
said.
not. She does not protest your mounting.
And I try to give it some hardtack.
I named it Honey.
Yes. It's the only reason we did that is because when we first got it to it, we fed it honey and it loved it.
Yeah, give me a gold piece, Tony, and you got 10 pieces of hardtack.
Yeah, I can't log into the server.
You can't log in. Everybody else has been able to log in. It looks like.
It says attempting resolved connection server. Let me try
Same.
and redo it. But yeah, does she like it?
Well, she takes a bite. Well, tries to take a bite, and it sounds like she's trying to chew a brick until eventually.
I will cast Goodberry for the first time and with one of my first level spell slots, and I will feed her all 10 good berries.
Are you using your Heart of the
Yeah.
Fae for that?
Yeah.
Okay. It doesn't cost you a spell slot, it just takes a charge.
Okay, do I need to make an animal handling check or to be able to mount? Or
She
what-
doesn't care. This is an
Okay, cool.
abnormally friendly Glimmerfowl.
Belongs to the streets.
No, she belongs to me. And she also belongs to the barbarian who can actually talk to animals.
We have one of those.
Yeah, we do.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, Molly can
That's
actually
weird.
talk to animals.
it's like ragingly, aggressively talking to the animal.
No.
No, totem
She-
barbarians can cast speak with animals as a ritual.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that was a thing.
So, but yeah, you get on Honey, and Honey doesn't seem to care. These things don't get tired. Like, they literally don't get tired. They're immune to exhaustion. So,
Okay. Yeah. And I'll just follow behind them in the car with Honey.
So, as they round a corner, leaving the city of Soria, you see Honey stops moving suddenly. And you're a bit curious why Honey doesn't move as they round this corner and go down a hill before Honey runs towards this cliff face with you on Honey and jumps off the cliff with you still being on her and just hovers through the air over the car.
That was hilarious.
Pass out. But thankfully, to the saddle of the Cavalier, I can't be dismounted.
While you're conscious. Are you sure you pass out?
I have to cast calm emotions on myself.
But
Oh, he can't be dismounted. Let's say the
yeah.
the mount's decapitated. He's still atop.
So you make your way, and it's about another 3 to 4 hour drive when you finally see a city off in the distance. And by this point, it's about 6 o'clock, and with it being in the middle of winter, it's already started to get dark at this point. As the sunset is casting like a brilliant orange glow that accents the countryside in all directions. As you see that you... What's that?
This is a chilly ride for me.
Yes, yes. However, the further south you head, you're at the part of the country of Soria now that only gets occasional snowfall. And Soria is already sort of a southern continent anyway. So right now, even though it's in the middle of winter, it's only about 45, 50 degrees. Oh yeah, you're feeling the wind, and it's cold. But you're a tidbit nipply. But it is what it is. So, after a short time, you enter into this city, and when you crest the city perimeter, you see in all directions, and actually for those of you who would like to look, you are approaching the city of Azorus. Actually, well, you're entering the city of Azorus, which is on page 96, at the northern edge of the Masai Mara Plains of Falthansia. So, as you enter this town, you notice... well, Loxodon, as they are the native species of this moderately sized town. Very, shall I say, humble residences you pass by. Nothing too large, nothing too extravagant. Azorus is actually the center of law for the entire continent of Falthansia, with the headquarters of the Agents of the Crown being located here. And in fact, despite the fact that Azorus, while lower on the population side, has the highest number of agents per capita out of any city in the entire empire of Falthansia.
Would Anon know this?
Yes, you would know this.
I really don't want to go here, guys.
I would know this too, right?
It's
Yeah,
full
you
of
would.
those crappy agent guys that think
You
they
know-
have everyone's interest at heart. Ugh.
Azorus maintains a number of about 4 to 5 agents for the entire town, which, considering there are some large populations that only get 2 or 3, that is a disproportionately high amount for what is typically allotted for a city. In addition to the fact that many off-duty agents are located here as well, which is not accounted for in the allotment, as this is where many agents are trained, this is where many settle. Many agents have their residences here for whenever they're off-duty, which is only during certain parts of the year. So that 4 to 5, that's active duty agents. Not the ones who are in training, not the ones who are in their off season. So there's a pretty steady amount.
But this is where
as-
we're supposed to come for the non-disclosure agreement thing?
This isn't where you're supposed to go, but this is a town along the way.
Oh, alright.
So you would have to pass through here to get to your destination. So
Hey, so everyone, let's just go to a hotel. Let's go to sleep, and then leave.
as you say this, you hear a this loud trumpet sound throughout the city.
I don't like this.
You hear over a loudspeaker, "If all citizens could make their way to the gavel of transcendence. If all citizens could make their way to the gavel of transcendence. The execution will begin momentarily."
We're not citizens. Are y'all interested in going to that, or do you want to go to sleep?
I know if we go to this thing, it's going to be something that's going to just piss us off, and we're going to want to intervene, and I am not at a level right now to be able to intervene with this.
Anon's like, I don't even know how to add these spells to my spell book. So...
Well, so the cost of adding, what is it? Is it
It's 50 per level, is it not?
I believe so.
So
So
haste
if
is
you-
level 3, so that's 150
Yes. So if you just pull up the scrolls, there is a
Yeah.
link to each of those spells in every scroll. Deduct the appropriate amount of money for each scroll and drag that link into your actions tab, and it will add it to your spell book.
Pull up the
Yeah.
scroll.
And you need,
Done.
I think you need 1 hour for every spell level.
It
too.
is completely. Well, I click on it and it's empty.
For the scroll of haste, that's what you're looking at right
Yes, scroll of haste. That one's empty. Let's see about Dimension Door. Dimension Door is level 3, is it?
4.
It's
now.
4.
Why is the scroll of haste empty? Did you not drag the actual scroll in there? Or
I'm
did you
sure I
type it
did.
in?
I wouldn't
Hey,
have typed that in.
Haste is a 3rd level spell. It's going to take you 3 hours and
Haste
150 gold.
Haste, Legend Lore, Lightning. So realistically, I can only do 2 of these without
You
being
had
rogue.
you took a short rest and you did a 4-hour drive. So you've got 5 hours worth of time that you could have spent doing this.
That's only one of them, yes.
Well, if you did like a second and a third, that would be what you got.
I've got Lightning Bolt, Phantom Steed, Haste, Dimension Door. Those are 3 and 4, aren't they? What level's Phantom Steed?
Phantom Steed is a 3rd level.
Okay. So I can only do 1.
You could do Dimension Door. You could get that knocked out.
Yeah, I might want to do Dimension Door. Okay. I will
Okay.
door the dimensions.
200 gold. I'll drag Dimension Door to your actions, and so now you have it.
Oh, you're going to put it in there for me? Thank you.
Yeah, I'll put it in there for you. So, are you going to the square or not? And as well, I will go ahead and have everybody make a perception check. I'm actually really glad you're here tonight, Brandon, because there's some things that might tie into you.
Oh, I need you to put the eagle, the eyes of the eagle thing in my thing, because I couldn't drag it over.
That is for you to do. There's the link for the Soria Heroes Guild.
Woohoo! I don't know.
Any town that sends off an alarm that says you mandatorily have to come out to watch somebody get executed, it's not somewhere you want to hang out at.
Yeah, I kind of agree.
So you do notice it doesn't appear that every citizen is heading in that direction, but you do notice some of them.
Third nat 20 of the night.
Oh yeah, and I get advantage on this perception check? Hell yeah.
Why is my perception so
So
garbo?
I get advantage on
it's
all.
actually just Lucas who sees this. I'm going to send
Hold
you a
on.
message,
Hold
Lucas.
on. Hold on.
Oh, that's
Wait,
right.
is
You
it
can make a roll
perception?
too.
Yeah, and I got 2 19s
Whoa.
Lucas and Raven.
I got 2
All right.
19s in a row.
Lucas and Raven.
Yeah, I ain't see shit.
You look over towards. Man, I wasn't actually expecting to give you this much. So, Raven, there's one bit that only you're gonna notice, and then there's one thing that both you and Lucas will notice. Both you and Lucas notice. You see walking down an alleyway, probably about a block from your current location, a individual wearing a sleeveless red leather shirt. Well, sleeveless on one side, with being long-sleeved across his left arm, with a gunblade sheathed behind his back. Blue skin and white hair. You swear that this is Drexel.
Elrook.
I whistle.
He gives a glance back, pauses for a moment, and keeps walking. Now, this is something that only you, Raven, notice. Lucas doesn't notice this. The DC for this was 25, which is why I wasn't expecting anybody to actually see this.
Advantage with the fact that I'm proficient in perception.
So, Raven, for a moment after you see Drexel, you look up to a rooftop, and you only see it for a moment, but you see briefly about 4 roofs over this cloaked individual wearing a solid black cloak. Across the back of this cloak, you notice a symbol, and this symbol specifically is like a red scythe on the back of this cloak. You don't individual's face. What you do see is you see a bit of his hand, sort of a tanned skin complexion and long black hair. On top of that, you notice this individual has this ungodly oversized rifle strung across his back. But he drops out of sight after just a moment, and you gather from the lack of reactions from other people, you are the only one who has seen this.
I'm gonna pull up my hood, and I'm going to walk behind Drexel just enough to where he can still hear me, and I'm just going to follow him. Like, he already knows I know he's there, but I'm just going to follow him and continue and talk with him. Like I'm just another patron walking through the streets.
He says without turning back around, "Well, I've always wanted to give you the chance to meet my grandfather. Today might be your chance."
I'm just going to say to the rest of the group in the car, so it looks like some extra shit's about to go down. Not the execution, but probably some people preventing? Or, I don't know. It's not going to go the way that the city thinks it's going to go if you guys want to just see the chaos.
So, who's the man on the roof?
I want to go watch the execution. Personally.
The man on the roof. Well, he's only the most wanted person in all of the world. That was the Blade of the Justicar. He's not going to let one of his men just go without a fight.
Well, is it a good or a bad thing that we're here at this time? Because my compatriots don't look too well, and I was away, so...
As long as you don't get involved, I encourage your party to make your way to the gavel and just watch.
What are you doing here?
Well, I'm here for you, as well as the rest of your friends. To make sure you don't make any mistakes, to make sure you don't do anything stupid.
Well, you do know we're being sought after, right?
I do know that, and... well, as am I. But... trust me. I'm here because I need to be.
I wasn't talking about my compatriots, I was talking about me and you.
I'm aware that we are being hunted. I know. Our blood is very valuable, apparently.
You do know from... that I am one of the only people that know the location of the body that he seeks.
As am I. Which, again, makes us only more valuable. Trust me. My grandfather wishes to help me, and inadvertently that helps you and the rest of your party too. The city will seek to make enemies out of what could be allies for you, and I'm here to strongly encourage you not to make the largest mistakes of your life.
Whose side am I fighting on at this point? The guy in the black cloak, or everyone else?
I encourage you to just watch and see how things play out. Consider this a demonstration of what their order can do for you.
Wonderful. I will let the others know.
Good, and nice seeing you again, cousin. I know it hasn't been that long, but it's still been too long.
As I'm going to light a cigarette and turn the other way. And head back to the car.
Alright.
So,
So,
guys,
I wouldn't have sat in that car while he's walking around town and walking through alleys. I'm just gonna, like, once Neston sees him leave, I'm following all the people to the galley. With Honey. Just walking through the city streets with Honey.
I'm mainly going to grab Bond, is what I'm going for.
Okay.
I don't know if they're all getting out of the car or not.
Alright. As
Usually know
you
when I get Bond.
as you head to the gavel, you see that there appears to be this...
Well, is there
Honestly-
anyone else coming with me? Lucas? Anon?
Fine.
Go see the gavel?
I gave everybody a heads up on what was happening, so depending on what the group wants to do, I go with the group.
I'm going to the execution.
Then let's go to the execution.
I'm excited. I want to see how this city delivers justice. That is all that Pelor preaches. It's justice.
And my hood's still up and everything like that, so I'm just gonna follow them and walk behind Bond.
Okay.
Hey, Bond,
Yes.
don't look back. Just keep walking.
Understood. I kind of figure that's how we do things.
This execution is what's about to happen at this execution will be in our favor. We do not get involved at all.
Understood.
All right, can I say that I switched out one of my? I prepared a different spell whenever I took that rest.
See,
Because it's the one that I
yeah,
wanted
because
to
you
prepare
just
dimension
prepared a
for.
new spell, I'll allow it.
Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna switch out one thing for another. It's not anything special.
Okay.
Unless we absolutely have to get involved, we do not get involved.
Why would we get involved anyway?
This is a fair point.
I'm just saying, there was a man on the rooftop. This organization that is here, one of the members that is being
Great.
executed, is a part of it.
Then they're handling it. Why would we already have enough heat on us?
They're going to be a great ally to us.
Okay, cool. I'm not planning on getting involved at all. We made a whole point of letting people know we were going to another city. If we raise a ruckus here, people will know we're in this city.
I understand that. I'm just saying.
I'm agreeing with you. I'm not arguing with you.
By now you understand that I am being sought after. And the reason why they're coming after y'all is because they're coming after me.
I'm pretty sure they're coming after all of us.
They are, but they just need Raven more. But they want They want Raven because they want her blood. They just want the rest of you guys dead.
I know.
But look, listen.
So you're saying if we give them Raven, we'll be good.
They still want all of you guys dead.
Raven, I understand that they want your blood. They want you hunted for whatever reason. But they kind of hunted me and Lucas first. They ruined my birthday. Well,
Very
before
true.
we were even with you at all. I mean, there's obviously something special about my bloodline. I mean, I have the soul of an old elven king.
Oh, shut up.
And nobody even knows.
First old man you've had inside of you, boy.
Well, probably multiple. I mean, elven souls do pass down that life.
I mean, it depends. So you involved with the Catholic Church. I mean,
Either way, apparently, Bond, we're gonna see the will of your god
Oh, snap.
today.
No. If I know my religion, no, Kellenvor and Anamantor hold reign here in this city, and a little bit of Torm. Your cultish fetish does not belong in this city of justice, Bond.
You will see the
Sorry.
will of your god, Bond.
Nope, that's a cult.
give me a religion check, Raven.
Alright, give me a second.
Yeah.
Pretty sure the Justicars don't worship the Angel of Death, but I will check this book here.
That's a great 11.
They definitely
Oh,
worship the Angel of Death. As far as you remember, they definitely worship the Angel of Death.
Yes!
What is it, the Sanguine Justicars?
Yeah.
Check the books. Yeah.
Yeah, Sinju, because it's the same thing that what's-her-name was back in Campaign 1. What was her name?
Gwen.
Gwen, yeah. Same thing, because the Sanguine Justicars are just like a... what is
They were
it?
much smaller back then, and they went by a different name.
Yeah,
But
this is like a subsidiary. Or what they've grown into, like a merger.
yeah. So as you approach this square, you hear this voice, and you see up on this platform, there appears to be this Loxodon individual carrying a large great axe, wearing what looks to be this black leather. He's got this like black cap that goes down just above the mouth. And as well, in addition to that, you see what appears to be this heavily armored Loxodon individual carrying a large hammer. This one is large even by Loxodon standards, sitting at about 8 feet tall. He carries this like blue crystalline hammer with this fine, silvery, shined, polished armor that just absolutely glows. This armor is armor that is very expensive, but it also looks like this particular set of armor hasn't seen combat yet, or it wouldn't look this pristine. And a crowd is definitely starting to gather, and up on the gavel, which is just the name of the main execution platform of the city, you see this human-looking male, a bit on the shorter side, clearly of pure Falthanian blood. As you can tell, this is... I mean, he's got shaggy ginger hair, deep purple eyes. He's only about 5'4", so he's a little on the shorter side. This is the picturesque example of what a pure-blood Falthanian looks like. Human, of course, with a very slight tip to his ears, because pure Falthanians have a drop of elvish blood. And he appears to have a ball and chain bound to his feet, in addition to some handcuffs that are bound in front of him. As they stand before you, and he says, "I am Chief Justice Warheim, and I sentence you to death for the crime of conspiracy and treason against the Empire of Falthansia. What do you have to say for yourself, Barnabas?" You can tell this human has a smile on his face. He's just amused with the whole situation, and he says, "Oh no, please don't kill me. Oh no. Here's what I have to say. Your empire that you stand so justly for is not this utopia that you speak of, and one day it will come crashing down, and I will live to see that day. I'm giving you a chance to get out of here with your lives, but I know, being as foolish as you are, you're not going to listen to my plea. You can release me, or you can just die. Frankly, I really don't care either way." He says, "Those are some strong words for a man who is currently bound and about to be beheaded. Get him into position, executioner." As he kicks the guy on the back of the knee and makes him lean over this large stone. Now, as he glares at him and says, "Barnabas Alistair Crouch, on this day I sentence you to death for the crimes of treason and conspiracy. Do you have any last words?" He says, "Yeah, the elephant in bondage died as he lived, sensually clutching a large shaft by his face." As you notice, this elephant is holding a great axe over his shoulder. Now, let me tell you how this is going to go. Before you ever have the chance to drop that axe, your executioner there is going to get a bullet to the head. After that, I'm going to be freed. They are going to supply me with all the things that I need, and I'm going to get out of here. The rest of you might die. I frankly don't care. Though, frankly, Chief Justice Warheim, they'll probably leave you alive just so you can witness the carnage. But sure, do what you will. As this elephant walks over to him, lifts the axe.
This, right?
You can hear all this.
Can I make a quick perception check? Because I'm starting to get PTSD from my birthday.
Yeah, make a perception check.
Okay.
I'll just tell you ahead of time, I'm looking for a very high DC on this one.
I'm gonna roll one too, just because he's doing it. Even though my perception is garbo.
I don't get advantage with perception checks.
I do.
I rolled a
That's
10.
nat 20. That's
I got a
nat
21.
20.
Nat 20, and then he got a 20. So, wow.
I got a
I got
21.
a 10.
I got a 10
So-
as well.
Bon, you actually see this. The DC was 25.
Oh.
This cloaked figure carrying a large rifle with, as the wind is beginning to pick up, and you see this dark hair flowing with the breeze underneath this hood, carrying a very large rifle. You only notice this a few seconds before this happens, as this elephant this, well, not elephant, Loxodon, raises the axe above his head, and you all just hear just this echoing sound of a bullet. Before the Loxodon stands there for a moment, drops the axe behind him, and falls backwards as you catch a brief glimpse of a bullet hole in his forehead. Following that, you hear another hear another shot go off as the chain that's hooked to the ball that's connected to his shackles around his feet shatters as he does a backflip off of this gavel, kicking this other individual, this other guard, onto what looks to be a what's the thing that drops the blade? What are those called?
The guillotine?
Onto a guillotine as you hear another bullet go off as the rope cuts, decapitating this other Loxodon. Before he raises his hand up in the air and you hear another shot as the shackles around his wrists completely get cut. Before you hear another shot as you see this crossbow bolt fly in front of him as he looks up, as he opens the bag, holds what looks to be a sending stone, and just goes and disappears. As the figure on the roof finally gets noticed, as Chief Justice Warheim points and says, "After him!" as he jumps off the roof and disappears.
Oh, I like that guy.
So is the crowd now like just...
The crowd is going fucking nuts.
Cool.
Everybody has scattered and ran in different directions at this point.
I'm tapping Vaughn. Follow. As I lift my hood back up and I just make my way through the crowd towards the alleys.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the same thing, but why I do that? I'm gonna do a little bit of a pot picketing, and I'm gonna assume I get advantage on this one, considering they are feared and scared and running away.
But they're also moving quite quickly, so it's just a straight roll on your pock picketing.
That's genius.
How did you both get pock-picketing? It's pickpocketing.
I said it on purpose. I said it that way on purpose.
Sorry. That's a 30, Gavin.
30?
All right.
Wow, bro.
In the chaos, you manage to just steal some lady's purse off of her shoulder, and she doesn't seem to care.
She has to be a wealthy lady. That's a 30.
Come on, yeah,
bro. That's a
good. Hard 30.
This was a Loxodon lady, and yeah, you steal this lady's purse.
It's like a
She looks around for it and keeps running, but doesn't notice. So inside of this purse, she had... I'm gonna double this number.
Let's go.
Oh my god! On a D100, I rolled that.
What?
Damn,
Okay, go ahead and double it.
Two.
Double it.
So you get 194 gold pieces, as well as, let's say you got some fine jewelry. You got a diamond necklace and a white sapphire bracelet.
Oh, that's a good.
Yeah.
That's a good pick.
I mean, that's a fucking 30, bro.
Anon's gonna hop on his carpet, and rise above the crowd, and just.
I didn't mean to roll that one.
No, you're good.
And then just go where everybody else is going, but he doesn't want to have
There's
to
no
touch the
one
people.
direction that everybody's going. If you're
No,
following,
I'm talking
where the
about
guards are
our
going-
group.
Okay, what is your group doing?
Yeah.
Me and Vaughn are going to... I'm going to the alleys.
Alright, well, y'all are the only two that can drive the car, so...
Yeah.
I'm gonna stay behind. Lucas, would y'all want to, Anon, Flora, Molly, how about we go get a hotel room and I can just send them a message later when they finally get done running around.
I think Flora's out for the night.
I'm
If
like...
you want to,
I would
sure.
prefer to. You know, I'm having like I'm keeping it manageable. I've been like casually casting calm emotions on myself, but I'm having a little bit of a panic attack. I can feel my heart pressure is on the rise.
As I still rub the bruised eye I have from the fight we still had with the automatons earlier today. Yeah, I'm ready to just call it a day. I don't need to get wrapped up in all this excitement too.
Yeah,
Fine.
neither do I.
At this point, the rest of you see Drexel Belrook standing in front of you.
You know, I would use my doctorate to go and help the guys on stage, but there's a problem whenever people have their heads removed. It's very hard to patch them back up. So, and it looks like they have all this covered, so I suggest we just go back to a hotel. We find a hotel.
Right.
You see Drexel Belrook standing in front of you with his arms crossed.
No.
You see him. Whether you acknowledge him or not is up to you,
I'm
but
telling
you
him
see
no.
him.
I'm telling him no. No.
Oh. He has this wide smile across his face, just sort of leaning against a wall like this. Like,
I said no.
it would benefit the rest of you greatly to come with me.
Nope. Nope.
Yeah, last time I got told that, I got shocked and paralyzed.
Look, I can promise you.
Yeah.
You are in a group with my cousin. I wouldn't hurt you. Plus, I have to keep a low profile as well.
Yeah, see, your cousin threatens us on a daily, like almost all day. So
I am aware of her volatile temper.
Yeah, nope.
I'm telling you.
We're going to a hotel. We're going
What
to
I intend to show you could save your lives.
Sleeping could also save my life.
Yes.
I'm just gonna put it out there. I'm really tired. Can we see these things in the morning? Do you want to just come with us? I would really like to just take a nap.
Sleep with us.
Yeah.
If I had a nickel for every time. Anyway, you can wait till the morning if you would like, but I highly encourage you to seek me out.
Well, could you at least tell us a hotel to go to? We just arrived in town. I don't even know what's around here.
You know what? Actually, Drexel, we can find it all on our own. Thank you so much for your patronage to your
Well, I was going to
countries.
point you in the direction of a nice bed and breakfast.
Well, I mean, that would be appreciated.
Yes.
Are you also going to this bed and breakfast?
No, I have somewhere else to be. But I can search for you in the morning.
I don't trust him, guys. I hold up a hand and I say it out loud. I do not trust him. He's going to loop us into another one of his shenanigans. And I don't like it. I'm tired. I would
just simply wish to introduce you to your new best friends.
No. Those? No. Mm-mm. I was almost eaten by a dragon this morning. And then I was almost eaten by several other baby dragons. And then I was attacked by automatons. And then Raven said harsh things about my mother to me. And
your mother confirmed them to be true?
No, she did not. She said I was loved just enough. But anyways, I am emotionally distressed. Lucas is tired. He has a black eye. Anon is... He looks like he does.
Flip you a spike.
he has things to write in his book. I'm pretty sure it's time for Flora to take her medicine. We will be on our way. Thank you so much, Drexel. Goodbye, sir.
I will see you in the morning.
I said goodbye, sir.
He says, "Good day."
As he reaches down to his belt, turns this little compass, as this sort of small explosion erupts from his feet, leaving a scorch mark on the ground, and he's gone.
Y'all see that? I should tell him.
Yes, you told him right off. You surely did.
I did.
I'm just gonna look over to Bond. Next time we see him, you should take that compass. Oh no, wait, Bond's not there. Never mind.
That would be
Ooh,
perfect.
you have a. Oh, yeah, that would be. Yeah. Oh, we can talk about that later.
You roll a 30 on that, Gavin will have a heart attack.
Oh, Gavin will be like, "Oh shit."
You act like the spell locate object isn't a thing.
Damn, that's true.
I know, it's almost like we have amulets to block divination.
On you.
Dun, dun, dun.
And a pack of holding that puts objects in another plane.
Is this fair?
If you want to try, go ahead. But he's gone for now.
Good. We start searching for a hotel. We will find it on our own. Do not worry, gentlemen. I will lead us in the correct direction. Hello will be my guide.
Oh.
This day.
We're fucked
Gonna
now.
lead us to destruction.
You
Y'all
find
are
an
there.
establishment called Hearth and Home. You imagine this is probably the bed and breakfast he was talking about.
Okay.
Where are we going?
Don't know, don't care.
We are going through the alleys. We are. Trust me, I know where we're going. Gavin knows where we're going.
Do I?
And by the way, I just want to let you know, I just want to let you know that when I saw that, all I thought was competition. I'm just gonna let you know that.
On in the world would a
We are-
little
we
cat
are
go?
going- We are going through the alleyways and all that, looking for the cloaked figure.
I would like to try something, if we can circle back to us for a moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, since Bond and Raven are gone, I'll be like, yeah, cars aren't really that big of a thing, man. It's pretty easy. I've done this tons of times in the past. And I hop in the driver's seat. I'm going to see if I can if I can drive the car.
God, if you wrecked the car, I spent good money on that car. A lot of my starting gold on that car.
Give me a vehicle handling check. You don't
Oh
get any
my God.
proficiency for this. This is just a straight D20. Period.
Don't worry,
Just
Lucas.
a D20.
You can do
Excuse
this.
me.
I
Excuse me,
hop on Honey and
I
give him
spent
guidance.
all of my starting gold on this shit. Thank you very
You
much.
spent it on your ship. I don't want to hear your shit. You spent it on your ship and your bike. I bought the damn
Ship,
car.
bike, folks.
Love it.
Go throw a luck point out there.
Well,
Yeah.
also a D4.
Fucking better. Okay,
And I paid
that's a lot better.
half of my car.
So the rest. Does everybody else get in the car?
No, I get on Honey. I don't
Okay.
trust him. I'm gonna
Who
give
is
him
in the
guidance, but
car?
I don't trust him.
Anand and Flora, maybe,
Yes.
And Molly.
and Molly. So you get in the car and vroom,
Hold on.
It's a 19. It's not bad.
Hey, I was Anon.
Yeah.
He cast the spell that I forget what it's called, but it's the one that
synchronicity.
synchronicity. He
Okay.
casts it all on him.
Give me another D20 then, because you would have advantage on checks to handle vehicles.
What
Oh.
check are we doing, guys?
Well-
It's already a 19. No,
Hold on,
Lucas
guys.
is trying to drive a car.
Yes.
We don't have to really make.
So
any
there
rules.
was just a assassination that was just prevented. Well, not an assassination, an execution that was just prevented in the town square.
Yeah, well, it's the same thing.
Just happened.
So
Is it-
19. It's not a smooth ride. There's a lot of like as you adjust the clutch and you don't do it at the right time. I mean, you never drove a stick shift before, and that's every vehicle. As you hear the engine just boom, boom, as it shifts different gears.
Oh, God.
Yes.
But you horribly swerve your way down the road, going about half the speed limit with people honking at you from behind as you blow up the engine every time you swap gears. But the car seems to be okay and you get to where you're going.
That's awesome. I needed a chance to cast synchronicity.
It's alright, guys. I got this. This is what it's supposed to sound like. As I cast, like, mending periodically.
Anon's like, can I try that again? Can I try that later? I've been wanting to drive too.
Oh my God, no.
Yeah, they don't have cars where, when I was a boy, we just rode father.
Why?
So are we
That's
being
gonna
chased?
not pass that up.
Oh my
Trying to ask
jeez.
a question, guys.
So
Are we being chased? Like, I dipped out
No.
after the execution happened for a few minutes.
No, we're
We
just,
did
like,
not
casually routing to a hotel.
We're good. Me and we're
I'll
good.
go ahead and cover what Bond and Raven would see, and you don't find this shaded figure, and you look everywhere. You spent probably a good hour scouring the city. There's no trace. It's almost like you think he might not even be here anymore.
I guess we need to. Do I know if there's a heroes guild in this town?
There is actually not a heroes guild in this town.
Well,
They're in most towns, but this is one of the few where you won't find one.
I'm going to because I'm sure me and my cousin have our own way of speaking, I'm gonna put a symbol on one of the walls, and then I'm just going to head towards the bread and breakfast.
Okay. So you leave your symbol and you head towards the bed and breakfast, and you just get a message, like the spell that just says, "Meet with me in the morning. There is much we have to discuss." But you don't know the sender.
So
Okay.
another thing I wanted to cover is,
Does
so
it know
what
where to
else
meet
did I
him?
get that from my purse?
You got a diamond necklace and a sapphire bracelet.
Flag.
Did they tell me where I meet them?
That's the cryptic thing. No, they did not.
Aha!
Wait, it's not okay. It's just so it's sending, so I can say it. I can say something back, right?
You can, yes, you can, and you know what they say. You can respond to this message.
all I'm
But
gonna
yes.
say is all I'm gonna say is rooftop.
Okay.
Flag.
So as you enter this bed and breakfast, you see these two Loxodon individuals, one male, one female. Well, that was just quite an occurrence out in the square. Would you like a room for the night?
Yes.
We serve the finest stew in all of the city.
Is your name Stu?
Hey, Gavin,
No,
was
no.
that the sending spell or the spell message? Because if it's the sending spell, they automatically know who the sender is.
Well, it would have to be sending spell because message is only
That's
120
true.
feet.
But what about for somebody whose name isn't widely known?
He would. He probably wouldn't. I don't know. I would say he would still like. There. It's because it's almost telepathic. So like,
Right.
if it was that shady figure, they would know it's that shady figure.
Your
Not
brains
necessarily, like-
connect.
I'll give
Yeah.
you the. I will message you the name Brandon, the common name.
Like, so it says in the description, the creature hears the message in its mind, recognizes you as the sender if it knows you. Okay.
Ah.
So, and you can answer in a like manner immediately.
I just
So I
gave
guess-
him the common name of the person who sent him the message. Did you see my message, Brandon?
Yep.
Okay.
Hold on.
All right, so I say we sleep the night off, get all of our things back in order. Everybody's rejuvenated.
Yes.
Can I find the stables for honey?
Yeah, there's
all my
stables.
grit points back.
Okay.
You take Honey to the stables and just when you put her in the stable, and as you start to walk away, she tries to like hop over the edge of the stable.
How much was the saddle? I actually need to deduct that. It was
200
right?
gold. Yeah, 200.
Okay, so I need to deduct 220 or 202 pieces.
So, you rise in the morning, and waiting for you in the dining room, you see, as you walk down, you hear like the flash of a camera as you hear these innkeepers. Oh my god! I can't believe it! I can't believe it! Hold on, one more. As you see the female Loxodon posing next to this individual, as another camera flash goes off of this giant camera with this tarp like over the head of this other Loxodon who's taking the picture. And he's like, "You're too kind. You're too kind. Really, it's not a big deal. It's not. I'm just passing through. That's all." I'll just go ahead and say Neston is the first one to go downstairs. And as this Loxodon looks over to you and says, "Drexel Bellrook is here. Can you believe it?"
Oh my! Wow! Drexel Bellrook is here. That's fantastic. And then I turn around and go back upstairs. I go straight to Lucas's room and start trying to climb out his window.
Okay, Lucas, you hear a knock on your door. Just
Nope, I just walk in. If it's unlocked, I walk in.
Yeah, it's unlocked. It does set off my alarm spell, so I'm gonna hear you, but...
Well, it's okay, because as soon as I open the door, Lucas! Lucas! Drexel is downstairs, and he's trying to get us to do things. I do not appreciate this form of harassment.
Sounds pretty expected.
Which is why we will go out this window. I was thinking about it for the past 4 hours. We'll go out this window.
I'm walking downstairs.
He's just gonna find us again.
Wait, you said it's the morning, right?
You know,
yes.
If he tells us something that we don't... Oh, go ahead. Alright.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, if he tells us something that we don't want to do, we can just say no.
I told him no yesterday. I told him no several times yesterday. And he still had the nerve to come over here. To the inn that we are staying at.
Yeah, he is, It's like a dog with a bone. Doesn't really let things go, does he?
It's annoying. You know, I really liked them when I would read them in the papers, but now it's just annoying, and I don't appreciate it one bit.
Well, let's get it over with. Find out what he wants, and we can make a decision as we need to.
As your door pushes open, Lucas, and he says, "Hey, what do they? You know what they say? Never meet your heroes."
I'm literally walking out of my room and just walking down the stairs and walking outside.
Okay.
I'm literally
Like
still
straight up
asleep.
past Bill, Drexel, don't care, pat him on the shoulder, don't give a fuck, I'm leaving. And heading to the rooftop where I saw the cloak figure.
Alright.
The first time.
You stand there for a couple minutes, at first thinking he's not going to show. In fact, you wait there long enough before you start to feel like he's not going to show up. And you head over...
I'm sticking my dragon out to scour.
The dragon doesn't find anything. To the point, once it's been long enough where you feel like you've waited too long, you start to get to the edge of the rooftop about to leave. Head over to the fire escape before you hear a not very loud, but a small little pop, almost like a firecracker going off behind you.
Well, hello. I'm not even going to turn around. Hello.
Looks at you and says, "Shadows work in the dark. Behind the scenes, across all 3 continents, there are workings that you and your group does not know. People pull strings as the grand puppet master leads the world towards devastation. And you, without my help, will be right at the center, and you will not make it through to the next dawn to see the new day. Now, will you choose life or will you choose death? The decision is up to you. But who you call friends and where you make your alliances will influence this."
Yeah, I've heard about you a lot. And I'm not here to fight in any way of you. Actually, I've heard of your organization. I quite rather like it.
He walks up to you, and this is where we are going to call it. After this, he walks up to you, pulls his hood back, lowers his head, and you see a tan-skinned, wood-elven individual with long, dark hair. And he says to you, "My name is Geen Zoriel. I am the leader of the Order of the Sanguine..." Sorry, I realized I was pressing control. "I am the leader of the Order of the Sanguine Justicar. In fact, I was a good friend of your father's. However, most just call me Genzo."
Genzo. I've heard a lot about you. Like I said, I've heard a lot of your organization. And I rather like them. And as a one that deals with the not so pleasantries in life, as I have, I am been looking for a way in. And that's all I'm gonna say as I jump down the fire escape.
And that is where we are going to call it tonight, guys.